And in history, this edition of Kernels Baseball.
It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels Baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
After a day-long sunshine, it's a bit overcast. Day off tomorrow, and then the Kernels welcome in the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers for the second leg of this 8-game homestand. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. I'm John Rogers, and we're pleased this evening to have Bob Brooks with us. I know Bob has had his picture in the paper probably dozens, if not hundreds of times in his great career, but he was front page color picture on the Gazette this morning, and Bob, that was quite a tribute to see that you were standing I believe next to Bob Bowlesby and Kirk Ferentz. That was pretty neat, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Unexpected, of course, and I thank the Gazette for that. That certainly wasn't necessary.
Well, it was really
I
neat.
just happened to be there.
Well, it was three great people. Bob is here for his weekly segment during the homestands, Brooks at Bat. He'll be back with us on Sunday. He and I will venture down into the Kernel dugout and talk it over with the Kernel player. Bob, I had a couple of topics I thought this evening are, and you can direct these in any way, or it's your segment, but I heard you say the other day the announcement that a good friend of yours, Keith Jackson, was finally stepping down. He had said he was going to retire a few years ago, but ABC lured him with West Coast games only. And Keith did some baseball in his great career, I think, for Monday Night Baseball. And I wondered if you could tell our listeners some of the anecdotes or some of the ways that you knew Keith, because we knew him as probably the greatest television play-by-play man in our lifetime.
Well, Keith has had, of course, a marvelous career. We all would love to have this sort of thing. No question about that. But I would say, too, that Keith Jackson, in the time that I have met him, and we're getting some reverb in this deal.
There you go, Bob.
There we go, yeah. Now we're all set. In the time that I've known Keith, he was basically, and the people in college football felt this way, coaches, players, administrators, the NCAA, the bowl alliances, they felt that he was the voice of college football. And he certainly was. But his career was much, much more than that in baseball and in the Olympics and in Monday Night Football. He was on that. And, I mean, it's just been a marvelous career. He started out in Seattle and made it fast and has had just a great career. He kind of is a country boy.
Yeah, and I think that's why he appealed to a lot of people, Bob, is that he had that little bit of a twang. Some of his calls, oh, Nelly, or fumble. And he made the game. He wasn't the game, but he made the game an event. You're right.
Yes, he did. And I'm sure that the people that worked with him, like Bob Greasy for a long period of time, certainly enjoyed that association because he allowed the expertise to flow, and the whole thing just was outstanding. But his visits to Iowa City, of course, were interesting, and he and Hayden Fry had a very good relationship. And Hayden, as Kirk Ferentz has continued on, they had those morning breakfasts on Friday morning, and usually, if it was Keith Jackson's game, why, he came to those breakfasts.
Those early Ike Club in the morning, those Johnson Ike Club meetings?
Yes.
Boy, I didn't. That tells you he wasn't just a Hollywood star type of aloof broadcaster. He could have been that way, but he would get up in the morning and probably, A, for public relations, but B, he probably wanted to garner more information about the teams.
Well, he did, and he also, I think, planted the seed in Hayden's bonnet about wearing overalls after the Iowa-Minnesota game at Minneapolis, because they would kid each other back and forth. And in fact, if you were sitting next to them, I remember one time I ran into both of them at the O'Hare Airport in Chicago, and everybody was waiting for planes, of course, and I just stood next to them, and they told stories, and neither one listened to the other's story. They would just go on and on.
They both were great stories.
Oh, yeah. But Keith Jackson was the voice of really college athletics, and you can't say much more than that. I did, or I am going to write him a note and say one of his quotes was that he said he was going to leave the booth because he didn't want to die in the parking lot. And
you read that quote on the K-Memory Sports, yes.
And I said, and I'm going to, when I write him, I'm going to say, well, that isn't such a bad place to go. As somebody
like you, Bob, who loves sports, my mom used to joke and say, Johnny, are you going to watch baseball and football for your whole life? And it hasn't quite turned out that way, but that was one of my goals.
Sure.
And you're right. If Keith, now, do you think the rigors of travel might have gotten to him, or do you just think he wanted to ease into the sunset?
Well, I think, this is just my opinion, I think that after doing the last couple of Rose Bowls that were simply outstanding, and great games, he decided, well, I've about seen it all. So
probably that makes sense, Bob.
I think that's at a very, very high level to be 4 hours coast to coast, border to border. And I get the feeling that he thought, I'm not quite up to that.
Plus, Bob, you make a good point. My dad was a doctor, and when doctors got a certain age, they still had the experience and the aptitude and the ability. It was being on their feet all to operate 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day. Whenever they'd show those shots in the press box with Bob Greasy and Keith Jackson, they were always standing. I'm not sure you ever sat for 4 hours.
No, and
that's rough.
Besides that, it's the pressure of the situation. It's the pressure of reading all of those liners for network promos, and you can't. You're under the gun all the time. In fact, one time out at the Rose Bowl, I was kidding Keith about the fact that in his booth they had at the Rose Bowl they had a glass partition, and there with headphones and desks to write down notes were the advertising people who were critiquing the broadcast. Now, man, that's precious.
Yes, it is. Boy, Bob, that would be like having somebody look over your shoulder while you're trying to take a test. The test itself is enough pressure. Having somebody look over your shoulder, that would make me really tighten up.
Well, it made me tighten up that day just looking. I told him, I just ran into him in the hallway, and I said, Keith, I said, you're big enough. Why don't you go in there and throw all those people out?
Well, on that note, we're going to take a break. This is Bob Brooks, Brooks at Bat, and we'll have a final thought from Bob on another topic when we return. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Service second to none. Communications triple play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
A wonderful scene as kids from both Garfield and Johnson Elementary School of the Arts are filing off the field, part of a pregame parade on their school nights here at the ballpark. Bob Brooks, who was pictured on front of the Gazette Sports section in color this morning, is with us on his segment, Brooks at Bat, and we've talked about Bob's recollection. He's recalling his friendship with Keith Jackson, the legendary sportscaster. And Bob, you bet, Bob.
Another thing that Keith did, just to to show you that he kind of knew where he came from and so on. Towards the end of our careers with Iowa on the Iowa football games, why he took Jim Sobel and Ron Gonder and myself throughout the network broadcast and plugged us all in for a while.
Oh, so the whole nation could hear you guys making the call in your guys' finals. That is class.
Yep.
A lot of broadcasters, Bob, would think, well, these guys are at, quote,
we're
state
a bunch
level.
of dogs out here.
Exactly. Or a bunch of country hicks, or he would feel insecure. Some of these guys at the top are so paranoid that they would never do that.
That's right. You know that you've made it when you can take a look at that.
Exactly, and do that kind of thing. Well, Bob, I usually don't talk salary or money on in the minor leagues, but I wanted to get you to compare something or contrast with the young kid, Justin Upton, the first player picked in last year's draft. He's the center fielder here for South Bend, only 18 years old, $6.2 million up front, signing bonus. Well, some of it was up front. A lot of it will be dispersed the next 4 or 5 years, but it's guaranteed money. Hank Greenberg, Branch Rickey, Charles Comiskey. I know you knew Hank Greenberg when he was a general manager. I've read before the days of agents that players would go in and negotiate against these stonewalled-faced, kind of tight, penny-pinching, not negative words, but that these guys had a budget. And I wondered what do you think it would be like to go into Hank Greenberg, who fought for every penny? He was one of the first $100,000 ball players. How did he intimidate people, or what? How did he hold the salaries down?
Hank would intimidate you, yes.
By his physical size, or
that and he'd just say no. He'd pound the table a little bit and say you're not worth what this is, and why don't you go and see somebody else? You know.
It was almost take it or leave it.
Oh yes, it was. And they were in that situation.
There were no free agency.
There was no free agency. You were bound to that club. It was a nice form of slavery, is really what it was.
That's what I've heard, chatteled or indentured servants. And
Branch Rickey would have been worse.
Well, that's what I used a fun fact a couple of weeks ago, that when Ralph Kiner led the league in home runs with the Pirates, he went and asked for a raise, and Branch Rickey said to him, Bob, Ralph, I'm very happy you led the league in home runs. It's a great accomplishment, but we could have finished in last place without you, and he did not give him a raise.
Well, that's very true.
You wonder if these guys, these hardline GMs, were holding out, or if the bottom line was really that tight in those days without a television contract and without the souvenir or merchandise revenue, or do you think it was a combination of that?
Well, I would think it would be a combination. Basically, baseball in those days, you lived or died and made the budget or made your day on the actual attendance at the games. There wasn't all of this licensing and revenue sharing and that sort of thing. It was a whole different time, and people were raised in the venue that if you were good enough to make a major league club, well, you better be happy to make it, no matter what the pay.
And that's why guys would work in the off season. Bob, one final thought on just how it's somewhat related to in saving money for ball players. I remember you saying that when the Braves moved from Boston to Milwaukee, that the city of Milwaukee was so infatuated and grateful for that franchise that those guys never had to buy a car or a meal, and that the Milwaukee pretty much gave the players everything, not because they were poor, but because they wanted to show the players how much they appreciated them.
And the Milwaukeeans and the Wisconsin fans sold out the season at the ballpark, too, which was very important. If you want to talk about 2006, baseball being miserly, how about the umpires in the minor leagues turning down an offer by the major league, or basically the front offices in the major league. They were going to give them $1 a day increase in meal money.
I heard your report, Bob.
I mean,
that's not right.
That's an insult.
It is. If 40 million people attended minor league baseball games last year, which they did, and we're very proud of that, these umpires they are apprentices. I agree with that, but they deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, and to say, okay, fellas, we'll give you $1 more to eat on. Bob, I eat on the road, and it's tough sometimes because of inflation. You kind of have to watch your dimes and pennies, and you shouldn't have to do that to the point of being ridiculous.
Why, no, you should be able to go out and have a dinner or a breakfast. I mean,
one decent square meal.
Why, I should say, I can remember on per diems and so on, like in some major league cities, why, you could spend $14 for breakfast and only have orange juice in a roll.
Oh, you bet. And these minor league, I heard your report. Speaking of the umpires, they're coming out to accept the lineup cards.
I hope somebody gets their sanity here and makes them an offer that they can live with.
And that's the key, Bob, because this has become one of those grudge match, one of these terrible situations of who's going to blink first, and we all know nobody wins there. Well, Bob, we'll hope for sunshine and hopefully a glorious day on Sunday. And a win. We've on a roll. We've turned things around. We'll be playing Game 8 of this 8-game homestand when you join us in the dugout on Sunday afternoon. Bob, this was tremendous. We covered a lot in a little bit of time, and I know, again, that your grandsons, Peter and Blair would love some good food at any of our Zio Giano spaghetti houses. The players love it. It has the pasta that will make them sing. And Blair and Peter, maybe you can treat them this weekend to a couple of meals at Zio Giano's.
Well, that'll be great.
Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always nice to be with you, Coach.
It's great. Bob Brooks with us. Brooks at bat. We're going to keep it right here and set the starting lineups for this series finale between the Kernels and the South Bend Silverhawks. It's going to be for South Bend, Pedro Ciriaco leading off at shortstop, and Pedro's hitting .333 on the year. Batting second with 8 hits in this series, the right fielder for the Silverhawks, Leyson Séptimo. Hitting third in center field, the fella Bob and I just talked about, Justin Upton, the first player taken in last year's draft. Cleanup batter is Brian Byrne. He'll play first base and bat fourth. Hitting fifth, Orlando Mercado, the catcher. His father is the bullpen catcher for the Colonel Parent Club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Out of the University of Massachusetts, Frank Carreri will serve as the DH and hit sixth. He's batting .340. Hitting seventh, out of Harvard, Trey Hendricks, the left fielder. Steve Maida will be at third base and hit eighth, and batting ninth, the second baseman, Ricardo Cruz. On the hill is a right-hander, Eddie Baeza. B-A-E-Z-A. Eddie Baeza is 2-2 with a 3.90 ERA. Eddie Baeza is from Los Angeles Valley College. He was born in Burbank, and he's 21 years old, Eddie Baeza. Allen Motor Company is always proud to bring you the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Visit Allen's 13-acre campus, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha, or visit them online at www.allenmotor.com. Leading off for the Kernels, Heinle Stacia. That's a foreign position for Heinle. Brad Kuhn getting the evening off. Stacia at short leads it off. Batting second, he has 7 hits in the series. Dallas Morris at third base. The left fielder is Pat Riley. Pat will hit third. Colonel cleanup batter has had a great series. Jordan Renz, the designated hitter. Batting fifth, the catcher, Flint Whipke. Whipke will catch and hit fifth. Flint has 6 hits in the series. Mark Trumbo is at first base, and Mark will bat sixth. Hitting seventh, seeing his first action since the series opener Saturday night. In right field, Warner Madrigal. In center field, hitting eighth, is Madison Edwards. And batting ninth for the Kernels at second base, Larry Infante. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup on the hill, making his 6th start of the year, is 18-year-old right-hander from Hialeah, Florida, Tommy Mendoza. Tommy's 1-2, a 3.64 ERA. His last start was Thursday at Oldsmobile Park in Lansing, and Tommy and the Kernels were handed a 5-2 loss. That's the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Our umpires are sponsored by Anderson & Brown Eye Care. A full-service, comprehensive eye care exam, glasses, contact lenses, all available at Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Easy in, easy out. Their new location, 1425 Boyson Road in Hiawatha. Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Things are coming into focus. They're proud to sponsor the umpires in this series finale. Well, the Kernels are darting out of their first base dugout, and they're joining the members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team who are standing on the diamond. They're from Garfield and Johnson School of the Arts. In a moment, we're going to hear the national anthem from Alicia Strong of Johnson Elementary and Kieran Kearney of Johnson. We'll hear them introduced in just a moment. And let's pause now to honor America for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
To honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. It is being performed this evening by Alicia Strong from Johnson School for the Arts.
Well, that's a young lady who's probably headed for stardom on Broadway or in show business. That was Alicia Strong of Johnson School of the Arts. It's overcast. The lights are on. 75 degrees. The Kernels aiming for a 4-game sweep over South Bend. And we'll have tonight's action in just a moment right here on the Kernel Radio Network.
communications triple play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Tommy Mendoza, 18-year-old Colonel right-hander, is set to go, and we're very happy that you've decided to come along for entertainment, baseball, and fun at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Pedro Ciriaco is the first batter to face the Colonel right-hander, and Ciriaco is hitting .333. He backs away from a pitch inside, ball one. We're underway. The Kernels have a record of 13-12 and have won the first 3 games in this series. Ciriaco takes an 88-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike, letter high on the inside corner, and it's 1-1 to Pedro. There's a fastball at the knees, strike 2. Ciriaco, 1 home run, 12 RBIs, and he's 2 for 13 in this series. That's good when a fella's hitting .333. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Tommy Mendoza with a 91-mile-an-hour blazer, according to the Bank Iowa speed pitch indicator, the lower panel of the scoreboard in right center. Here's a fella that has chewed the Colonel's pitching up and spit it out to the tune of 7 hits in the series. 7 for 11 is left-handed hitting Leyson Séptimo. Open stance. And he tries to bunt his way on and loops it foul towards the Silverhawk on-deck hitter, Justin Upton. We're just underway. And the Colonel outfield tonight has a different look. Pat Riley in left. Madison Edwards in center, playing in place of Brad Kuhn, and Madison's playing way around into left center. Séptimo drives one in the air, down the line and left, in front of the warning track, drifting back, now onto the warning track, 310 feet away. Patrick Riley lassos it in. Leyson Séptimo, who's given the Colonel pitchers fits in this series, hit what I thought was a routine fly ball, but it kept carrying, and it took Pat Riley all the way to the warning track underneath the 16-foot-high white and blue padded wall that lets you know the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion is right above you. 2 gone here in the first inning, and Justin Upton takes a fastball for Mendoza, strike 1. We'll give you a look at scores from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard here in the early going. Justin Upton hitting .317. Takes a fastball just low, that one at 93 miles an hour. Upton, with a beautifully executed hit-and-run single in the first inning last night, rips a pitch fair off the third base bag, barehanded by Dallas Morris. Long one-hop throw, not nearly in time. That was a hard-hit smash on the ground that hit the pillow and hit the bag and then jettisoned up into the air, and Dallas Morris barehanded it and in shallow left field threw off balance accurately to Mark Trumbo, but Justin Upton was a good 6 to 7 feet beyond the bag, decelerating down the right field line, and he beats it out for a 2-out single. 1-on-2 away for left-handed hitting Brian Byrne. Ball one outside from Tommy. Mendoza, in his last start, went 6 innings against the Lugnuts at Oldsmobile Park. Only gave up 3 runs in 6 innings on 7 hits, struck out 5, walked 1. That's the game in which the Colonel scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning, but that was it in a 5-2 loss. The next pitch is low and outside, and Brian Byrne, a left-handed hitter, is ahead in the count, 2-0. We're just underway on Garfield Elementary and Johnson School of the Arts night here at the ballpark. Lights are on. The sun was glimmering on the diamond for just a short time, a few moments ago. Byrne tips one foul off his back foot, and it ricochets onto the field halfway to the mound, and it's strike 1 to Brian Byrne out of St. Mary's College in California. 12th round pick by Arizona. last year. He hit .267 with Missoula, 4 homers, 36 RBIs in 64 games. A throw to first, and Upton is back hand first. Justin is 3 for 5 in stolen base attempts this year. Byrne 0 for 8 in this series. Left-handed batter, a changeup low, and it flicks off the mid of Flint Whipke. That may be a pass ball. Down to second goes Justin Upton. Ball 3 to the batter. Well, until we hear differently, we'll call that a pass ball. It handcuffed Flint. Looked like a changeup. I do not think it was in the dirt, but we'll await a ruling. Flint now goes out to the hill to have a word with Tommy Mendoza. Afternoon action. State Farm Insurance agents Brad Dunn, Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, and Al Shetler bring us our initial look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard this afternoon in the National League. At Great America Ballpark, the Reds clipped the Redbirds 3-2. The Reds clipped the Cardinals 3-2 in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh trampled the Cubs at Wrigley 8-0 this afternoon, and it was the Padres knocking off the Giants in San Francisco 5-3. Ball 4 from Tommy Mendoza, high and outside, and the Silverhawks have a 2-out threat brewing here in the first inning. A single, a pass ball, and a walk, and here's Orlando Mercado, number 5 hitter for Mark Haley's Silverhawks. In the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, the Indians stomped the White Sox 7-1 today at Jacobs Field. And our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, is in a tailspin. They look like they're headed to their 5th loss in a row. Barry Zito shut them out at Angels Stadium in Anaheim last night, 1-0. Let's see what the latest is on that. When I last checked, it was 7-3 Oakland in the 7th inning, but that should be a final. Let's see if we can confirm that. Well, according to my sheet, it's still 7-3 in the 8th inning. Oakland. Ball 1 high, now a breaking pitch outside to Mercado, and it looks like Tommy Mendoza's out of rhythm in terms of his mechanics. And I couldn't begin to tell you what needs to be corrected. That would be up to Kernan Ronan, the wise counsel to these young Colonel hurlers. Orlando Mercado swings at a fastball right in his wheelhouse and was late, strike 1. Tommy just reared back and said, okay, if you can hit this one, more power to you. Mercado was a Diamondback 6th-round pick in 2003. He's from Puerto Rico. And with South Bend last year, Orlando hit .249 in 67 games with 6 home runs, 35 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 last night. Right-handed hitter, and a high pop foul drifts above the grandstand roof back of home plate. 2-2. Well, deuces are wild. 2-2 to the batter, Mercado, who steps all the way out of the dirt batting circle. 2 men on for the Silverhawks, 2 out here in the first inning. Orlando this season hitting .246 with a pair of homers, 12 runs driven in. 1 for 4 last night. He has a pronounced open stance with his belt buckle facing the right side of the Colonel infield. There's strike 3 called. Tommy Mendoza gets Orlando Mercado looking on a pitch on the outside corner at the knees. It looked to be some sort of changeup. No runs in the first for the Silverhawks. 1 hit, a pass ball. There were no Colonel errors. The Silverhawks leave a pair. Tommy Mendoza with a big strikeout of Orlando Mercado to prevent the Silverhawks from jumping ahead tonight. And after 1/2 inning, South Bend nothing. The Colonel's coming to bat. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving Eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
We do have a final now in the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Oakland thumped the Angels 10-3, and our parent club, the Angels, have now sunk to their fifth straight loss. They'll get it turned around, but that's not the start that Mike Socia and company were hoping for, as Oakland routs the Angels today 10-3. State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubat, Brad Dunn, Dale Thompson, and Al Shetler proud to bring you the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Heinle Stacia is the Colonel leadoff batter this evening. Brad Kuhn is getting the night off. Brad's played in 24 of the first 25 Colonel games. Heinle Stacia was 1 for 3 last night. A sacrifice bunt helped the Colonels score a run in their 2-run fifth inning, and then he doubled and scored in the 7th inning. Heinle was 1 for 3 last night. Stacia, a switch hitter, to face Eddie Baeza, right-hander. And a fastball to the Colonel switch hitter is in for a strike called. In on the edge of the grass at third for South Bend is Steve Mena, M-E-N-A. Heinle batting left-handed with a square-up stance. Shoots it hard to short on 2 hops. Pedro Ciriaco down to get it on one knee and on to first for the out. Stacia plugged it hard on the ground to his counterpart at short for the first out of this inning. No score, and Dallas Morris at the plate. It was great to get to know Dallas a little bit better in a fun way, because this morning Dallas was up early here at the clubhouse by 8 o'clock, and he, along with the Cedar Rapids Gazette and Toyota Financial Services, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburgers, and Bloomsbury Farm, on behalf of all those great sponsors, we visited Prairie View Elementary School in the College Community District, and then we went to St. Ludmilla's, where we saw Lori McMahon and Janet Whitney. Dallas has 7 hits in this series. He takes strike 1 called. His batting average up to .203. Here's a drive into right, but right at Leyson Séptimo, who gloves it. Dallas Morris hit it well and stroked it in the air to right for the second out of the Colonel first inning. 2 gone, and the batter, Patrick Riley. Boy, I'll tell you, those kids at Prairie View were excited about reading. So were the kids at St. Ludmilla's, just 2 different environments. Prairie View has over 500 kids, and they really enjoyed the story that we read and that Dallas Morris was the chief character in. The Bat Boy and His Violin was the name of the story. Dallas Morris played the violin as a bat boy. Strike 1 to Patrick Riley. Patrick hitting .326, 1 homer, 17 runs driven in. Patrick 1 for 3 last night in the Colonel 6-0 win with an RBI. And the 0-1 is laced foul into the backstop left side. Strike 2. Patrick Riley leads the Colonels with his 17 runs driven in. He has the highest average on the team, .326. And he's tied for the league in triples with 4. Couple that with 6 steals and 8 tries, and boy, Patrick Riley has been a big part of the Colonel's success this season. Baeza floats a backdoor curve close, but outside for ball 1. The catcher, Orlando Mercado, is wearing one of the Charlie O'Brien hockey goalie-like masks, not the traditional catcher's mask. Baeza takes something off a 1-2 pitch, and Pat Riley swings through it. Over top of it, strike 3. The Colonels go in order at the hands of 21-year-old South Bend right-hander Eddie Baeza. And after 1, It's scoreless between the Kernels and the Silverhawks. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Hy-Vee, the most respected and recognized brand name in our entire great state. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees value the vital role professional baseball plays in our community's fabric. Our treasured tradition of affordable, wholesome entertainment that brings families, friends, work colleagues, and customers together for lifelong memories. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees are proud to support the best thing going in eastern Iowa, the wonder of Kernels baseball.
Series finale, Kernels and Silverhawks. So we go to the second, no score. South Bend's record is 9-16, and they're in the cellar in the 6-team Eastern Division first half standings with that 9-16 mark, 9.5 games back of Lansing. The Kernels are in a tie for third with Peoria, only a game and a half behind Kane County and 1 game behind Beloit. Stroking the first pitch of the second, foul up to the rafters of the grandstand roof to the left. Strike one, Frank Curreri. Curreri. Frank is a big fella, 6'4", 215, out of the University of Massachusetts, and now he calls time. The Silverhawks are in their all-gray road uniforms with black socks, black hats, black numbers, trimmed in gold. They look a little bit like the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mendoza with a 93-mile-an-hour Hummer and a swing and a miss by the left-handed batter, Frank Curreri. Frank was 0 for 4 last night. In 14 games, he's batting a lofty .340. Fastball upstairs from Mendoza. No homers, 8 RBIs for Frank Curreri. Slightly open stance, wears a pair of white batting gloves and uses a rust-colored bat. Another fastball. This one's upstairs. Tommy Mendoza doesn't try to fool you too often. He comes right after you, straight over the top, and about 80 to 85% of his pitches are fastballs. There's a fastball, swung on and missed. Third strikeout in the early going for the 18-year-old Colonel right-hander, Tommy Mendoza. The Colonel infield this evening has Dallas Morris at third, Heinle Stacia at short, Larry Infante at second, and Big Mark Trumbo at first. Brett Martinez is getting the evening off. Flint Whipke's doing the catching. Fastball high and outside to Trey Hendricks, left-handed hitter. 3 for 4 last night. Had 3 of the Silverhawk 8 hits. Hendricks is a left-handed batter, and ball 2 sails outside to Trey. 24th round Diamondback pick in 2004, an Ivy Leaguer, a Harvard man. And a high fly ball golfed into straightaway right. Warner Madrigal had to take 2 short steps back. An easy play in right for Warner Madrigal. Trey Hendricks flies to right. 2 gone here in the Silverhawks' second inning. No score. Well, the surprise team in the National League so far, some would say the Mets, but I would say the Reds. They're 19-8. And everybody thought when they got rid of Sean Casey that would really set them back. And ultimately it may, but at least out of the gate in early May, they're 19-8. Here's a big cut by right-handed hitting Steve Mena. He swings and misses, strike one. Slightly open stance for Mena. Didn't play last night. He wraps one on the ground sharply to third. Fielding it at belt-high level, Dallas Morris, and he flings his throw across the diamond to retire Mena, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Mendoza. And we go to the home half of the second. It's Garfield Elementary School and Johnson School of the Arts night to shine here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. We're delighted you're tuned in here on KMRY 1450 AM as we go to the bottom of the second. Kernels nothing, South Bend nothing. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Smelly cat, smelly cat. What are they cleaning you?
What are you playing, Nigel?
I was just trading places with Phoebe from Friends. She's so funny. She's wicked.
Cool. You know, Sierra Mist and TBS have their Trade Places with the Funniest Faces sweepstakes, where you can really trade places with your favorite characters and win the ultimate sitcom getaway. Yeah, just go to tbs.com to enter. You can win the Friends, Ross and Rachel honeymoon trip to Vegas. There's also a trip to see where the Seinfeld gang hung out in New York City. Or an Everybody Loves Raymond trip to a golf resort in California.
The Trade Places with the Funniest Faces sweepstakes. Just watch Friends on TBS and enter at tbs.com. Brought to you by Sierra Mist. It's that refreshing. No purchase necessary. Internet access required. Subject to official rules at tbs.com. Open to legal residents of the continental U.S. 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Ends 5/16/06.
Bat in the second, and the red-hot Jordan Renz will be first up. Jordan was 3 for 5 Sunday afternoon, doubled twice and homered. Last night, 2 for 4, homered in the fifth, and an RBI single in the seventh. Right-hander Eddie Baeza brings in a strike called at the knees. Good-sized crowd here on this Tuesday night, Triple Play Tuesday. Hamburger or cheeseburger, bag of chips, and a beverage for only $5. Renz tomahawks the 0-1 pitch foul over the backstop. Strike 2 to Jordan. Jordan's a .296 hitter now on the year. He's belted 2 home runs in the series, leads the club with 3, and he has 14 runs driven in. Right-handed hitting Jordan Renz. Lays off a fastball, high and tight for ball 1. Jordan was a 4th-round pick of the Angels in 2002. Eddie Baeza with a curve, and that one's rammed up the middle past the shortstop Ciriaco into center field, and Jordan Renz has the first Kernel hit of the evening. Jordan Renz continues his torrid performance in this series. That's now his 6th hit. And Jordan is aboard as the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Flint Whipke at the plate. Flint has his average up to .283. 1 homer, 7 runs driven in. Whipke has 6 hits and 12 at-bats in this series. Ground ball to the right side, and it's a diving stop by Cruz, and he has no play. Yet another hit for Flint Whipke. He chopped it into the hole almost through the right side of the South Bend infield. A diving stop in shallow right by Ricardo Cruz. He went far to his left to make that play. And the ball almost hit Jordan Renz on his way to second base. Flint Whipke has his 7th hit of the series. And with 2 on and nobody out, Mark Trumbo will try to help give the Kernels the lead. Trumbo squares to bunt, a fastball high for ball 1. Mark hitting .175, pair of home runs, 10 driven in. And he was bunting on that first pitch, but took it high. Eddie Baeza's 2-2 this year, a 3.90 ERA. In 27 2/3 innings, Baeza has only given up 22 hits and fanned 29. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. 1-1 to Trumbo. Eddie Baeza has walked only 11 in 27 2/3. The league batting .214 against this 21-year-old right-hander out of Los Angeles Valley College. Kernels in their white home uniforms with red numbers trimmed in black, red socks, and wearing their all-red caps tonight. Trumbo squaring to bunt, and he bunts it foul behind home plate, strike 2. Mark kicks at the dirt. The Kernels were working very diligently with minor league field coordinator Bruce Hines. Bruce is the son of former Dodger bench coach with Tommy Lasorda, Ben Hines. Bruce Hines' nickname is Jeter, Jeter. Renz at second, Whipkey at first. Mark Trumbo waits as Baeza comes set just above the belt. A curve and a swing and a miss. Big league curveball by Eddie Baeza, and he has retired Mark Trumbo. Mark was unable to get a bunt down successfully, and now it'll take a hit from either Madrigal or Edwards if the Kernels are to break out on top here in the second inning. No score. Warner hasn't played since Saturday night's Kernel 4-2 win. He goes up pumping and rattles one off the mask of catcher Orlando Mercado. Strike 1. Madrigal hitting .237. No homers, 5 RBIs. Warner hit .247 with the Kernels last year and socked 15 homers and drove in 53 runs. He's off to a slow start this season. Waves a black lacquer bat high above his back ear. A curve, and that one's laced into center, but right at Upton for the second out of the inning. Warner Madrigal drilled it hard, but right at Justin Upton. A line out to center, and the runners Renz at second, Whipkey at first, hold. 2 gone, and the batter Madison Edwards. Edwards has been used sparingly this spring. He's hitting .143. No homers, 2 RBIs. Madison is from Midland, Texas. And he went to Texas Tech in Lubbock. Signed by former Kernel outfielder Kevin Ham. Edwards lays off a high fastball, 1-0. The outfield, Hendrickson left, Upton in center, Séptimo in right for South Bend. They play Madison Edwards slightly the other way. 2 on, 2 out for the Kernels. Second inning. A changeup, strike on the outside corner. Baeza left that pitch up, and Madison Edwards couldn't pull the trigger. So even though it was in a dangerous spot, Baeza got away with it. Madison, a straightaway stance from the left side. Renz, a big leadoff second. The pitch. Low, ball 2. The surprise team in the American League has to be the Detroit Tigers. They're 17-9, and they're hosting the Royals tonight. The Yankees will play the Red Sox at Fenway. A battle of the birds at Camden Yards between the Blue Jays and Orioles. Madison Edwards waits for the 2-1 from the South Bend righty. And Madison fouls it off to the left, strike 2. Tampa Bay is hosting Texas tonight, and the Mariners will be up at the Metrodome to take on the Twins. Tonight in the National League, Florida and the Phillies in Miami. The Nationals will play the Mets at Shea. Atlanta will entertain the Rockies. Houston's at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And in Phoenix, it's the Dodgers and Diamondbacks later tonight. The 2-2. Corked foul. That one hit hard onto the Randy Keel-Confidence Picnic Pavilion down the left field line. That picnic pavilion has 4 tiers. And 2/3 of it is to the left of the left field foul pole. But a third of the Randy Keel-Confidence Picnic Pavilion is right above the left field wall. It's only 315 down the left field line here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, but a 16-foot high wall. 325 down the right field line. 2 advertisers on the outfield wall, Budweiser and the University of Iowa, and then a series of local businesses on Trivision signs. Ooh, an overhand backdoor breaking pitch. The Silverhawks wanted the call from the plate umpire and didn't get it. That looked like strike 3, but instead it's a full count to Madison Edwards. And that means Renz and Whipke will be running. The Trivision signs sit directly above the left center field and right center field walls. And they're a who's who of local successful businesses. Runners go. Payoff pitch is chopped to second. Charged by Cruz. He reaches down and throws off balance to get Madison Edwards. Madison bounces out to shallow second, and the Kernels put their first 2 men on here in the second, but then the door slammed by Eddie Baez, the South Bend right-hander. No runs in the second for the Kernels, 2 hits. There were no Silverhawk errors. The Kernels leave a pair, our first 2 stranded of the evening. And after 2 were scoreless, series finale, Kernels and Silverhawks. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
We have 2 innings quickly in the books here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. No score. It's just past 7 o'clock, and a reminder that you're tuned to 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. Ricardo Cruz is first up, the number 9 hitter for South Bend. He's batting 136, and he swings through a Tommy Mendoza fastball down and in, strike 1. Ricardo is a right-handed batter. He was 0 for 3 in Game 1 of this series and has not played since. He's from Mexico, 22 years old, Ricardo Cruz, the second baseman. 1 homer, 5 RBIs. Now a tap foul off the batter's foot, and Cruz drops the bat at the plate and walks painfully all the way across the dirt batting circle to the Kernel dugout side, the first base side. That hurt. Tommy Mendoza is struck out 3, allowed a hit and a walk as we start the 3rd inning. Beautiful evening, 74 degrees, our game time temperature. Tommy's 0-2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Good morning, good noon, and good night to the number 9 hitter, Ricardo Cruz. 4th strikeout for the Kernel 18-year-old right-hander. Tommy's record 1-2. This is his 6th start, a 3.64 earned run average. Mendoza, in 29 2/3 innings pitched this spring, has allowed 32 hits. Struck out 22 in 29 2/3, walked only 4. That's phenomenal control for a right-hander, or for an 18-year-old, excuse me. Ball went outside to Pedro Ciriaco. He struck out to lead off the game. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 1. Ciriaco tied for 2nd in the league with 33 hits. Pedro leads the Midwest League with 20 runs scored. A fastball looped into shallow right. Madrigal has a beat on it, taking a few loping strides in, and Warner tucks it away. 2 gone here in the Silverhawk 3rd inning. No score. Halo happenings, results from around the Angel system from last night. Salt Lake, the AAA ball club, is now 15-9. Former Colonel catcher Mike Napoli and former Colonel outfielder Nick Gorneau each had 2 runs driven in. Eric Ibar 1 for 5 with a double as the Salt Lake Bees beat Las Vegas 7-4. Leyson Séptimo tops the first pitch and tips it foul behind the plate, strike 1. Bases empty, 2 gone as South Bend bats here in the top of the 3rd inning. Double-A Arkansas lifted its record to 10-15 on the year as Séptimo falls behind in the count 0-2. He slices a drive foul onto the grass slope seating berm that parallels the left field line. Greg Porter, former Colonel outfielder, homered for the 2nd night in a row, and former Colonel catcher Brett Del Chiaro also hit a home run. Swing and a tip foul into the glove of catcher Flint Whipkey, and that is another 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Mendoza, who now has recorded 5 strikeouts in 3 frames, and he set down 7 straight Silverhawks. Tommy Mendoza looks extremely sharp early on here this evening as the Colonels try for a sweep of the Silverhawks. And after 2.5, still no score, this is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's Shaw? Patio.
It's time for Clement's Great Grill Challenge. If someone asks you, what's cooking, Daddy-O, tell them Clement's is always lean and juicy. The other guys have more fat, more flare-ups, and shrinking taste. Avoid unnecessary flare-ups. Never substitute fat for flavor. Always grill Clement's.
King of the grill, man. Grill's hot. He's cool. Who's your patio?
John Rogers with you here at Veterans Memorial Stadium with an important reminder from Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. Peck's reminds you that Mother's Day is coming soon, Sunday, May 14th, and your mom will be delighted when she receives flowers or plants from Peck's. Peck's is your professional FTD and Teleflora florist, and they can deliver your Mother's Day gift of flowers or plants almost anywhere. Choose from one of Peck's many thoughtful, fresh flower bouquets or growing plant arrangements. Peck's will create the perfect floral gift for your mom and deliver it for you if that's what you'd want. Order early now while you're thinking about it. It's easy. Just call Peck's 393-5565, 393-5565, or stop in. Peck's is open weekdays 8 o'clock to 8 in the evening and until 5 o'clock on weekends. Peck's Flower and Garden Center, they've been delivering Mother's Day smiles for 50 years since 1956. Larry Infante may try to bunt his way on. The Colonels have not done much with Eddie Baeza in the first 2 innings, although the Colonels put their first 2 men on in the top or bottom of the 2nd, have not hit the ball real hard yet off Baeza. Strike 1 at the knees to Larry Infante. Larry did not play in last night's Colonel 6-0 win. He's batting 140, left-handed hitter from Venezuela. Infante takes strike 2 on the outside corner and glares back at the plate umpire. Infante is 21 years old, and he hit .227 with the Angel Rookie League team in Mesa last year. A late swing and a miss, and Larry Infante strikes out. Second strikeout for Eddie Baeza, the South Bend right-hander. The Colonels as a team are hitting .249. That's 10th in the 14-team Midwest League. Colonels lead the league in stolen bases with 38. Here's Heinle Stacia, who wrapped out to the shortstop hard to start the evening for the Colonels in the bottom of the first. Ball 1 just misses upstairs from the Silverhawk right-hander, who works quickly. And misses downstairs, ball 2. PRC, the former Access Direct here in Cedar Rapids, is very proud to support the communities where their employees live and work, and that's why PRC's Community Care will be bringing food home to the hungry all season long every time a Colonel socks a home run, PRC will match that home run with a $25 donation to the Haycap Food Reservoir. And thus far, 9 Colonel home runs have resulted in $225 being donated by PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir in the Home Runs for Hungry initiative. Strike 2 to Hindley Statia, count even now. And a pitch ripped into left center for a base hit. Over to get it, Justin Upton. And rounding first with the third Colonel hit of the evening is Hindley Statia. Boy, Hindley didn't try to overswing on that 2-2 count. He just served it into left center field where Justin Upton had to cut in to retrieve it. 1 on, 1 out for Dallas Morris. No score. We're in the home half of the third inning. Dallas Morris, 23 years old, proudly showed me his University of Louisiana Lafayette Sun Belt Conference Championship ring this morning when we visited the 2 elementary schools to promote the Toyota Financial Services Gazette, Bloomsbury Farm, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger summer reading program. Dallas flew out to right in the first. He hits one high and deep to right on the run, Séptimo, and Leyson has it. Leyson Séptimo had to retreat quickly to the base of the warning track near the line to spear that drive by Dallas Morris, who is 0 for 2, having hit the ball sharply twice to right field. Getting back to Halo happenings at the AA level, former Colonel right-hander Jesse Smith was the winner as the Arkansas Travelers dumped Corpus Christi 8-5. Jesse Smith is now 2-1 at AA. That's great for Jesse. I think he's 26, 27 years old now. Dynamite kid from Lincoln, Nebraska, Jesse Smith. Pat Riley waits in a toss to first. Hindley Statia's back standing up. What a beautiful glow there is to the field now with the sun breaking through and the lights on. The grass almost looks lime green in its lush, glistening glow. It's beautiful with that sun shining. Riley pounds one foul past hitting coach Eric Owens, stationed at first base. Well, we have lots of kids here tonight from Garfield and Johnson Elementary Schools. 3 or 4 little girls are just fascinated with some of their friends who are going to participate in our recycling and solid waste services relay race in a few moments. Kirby is getting ready to serve as the starter and judge in that solid waste and recycling services recycling shuttle relay to see how fast the kids can recycle common paper, plastic, and metal items. A throw to first, and Statia back standing up. Hindley has 5 steals this season. He's been caught 3 times. 2 away. Hindley Statia at first. Pat Riley, who struck out to end the first, is in the hole. No balls, 1 strike. Fastball delivered up and away by Eddie Baeza. Eddie was a 47th round pick by the Diamondbacks in 2004. And last season he pitched in 25 games for Missoula, all in relief. He takes something off a 1-1 pitch and misses down and in to Pat Riley. And get this, in relief last year, Eddie Baeza in 40 innings struck out 50 batters, walked only 13. And surrendered only 31 hits in those 40 innings. He also had 3 saves to go along with a 2.25 ERA in his rookie year of pro ball. Is Statia running? No. And the pitch hits Pat Riley. It was a changeup. Pat will trot down to first, and moving up into scoring position for the Kernels is Hindley Statia. That's the first hit batsman this season in 6 starts by the Silverhawk right-hander. 2 on, 2 out for the hottest Colonel hitter. Well, one of 2 hot hitters, Renz and Whitke. Jordan Renz lined a single into center leading off the second inning, but was left stranded at second after Flint Whipke delivered an infield single. Jordan tried to hold up on a breaking pitch. He couldn't. Strike one. We're expecting guests from Garfield Elementary School and Taylor a little bit later this evening. The 0-1 to Jordan, the cleanup man, is whistled into right field. Séptimo back in front of the track, and Leyson has it. Oh, brother, Jordan Rengs gave it a ride and sent Leyson Séptimo back to the edge of the track and right, where he made the catch to end the inning. No runs in the third for the Kernels. One hit, a hit batsman. There were no Silverhawk errors. The Kernels leave a pair and have stranded 4 men in the first 3 frames. We're expecting a guest from Garfield Elementary School to join us shortly. After 3, it's the Kernels nothing and South Bend nothing. And you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Springtime. That time of year when your heating system still runs some, but it's also a time when your air conditioning can be running too. Who do you call when either of them fail? Never fear, the A-Team is near. The A-Team from Ahern Plumbing and Heating. They can inspect and ensure that your heating and cooling system is ready to go when you need it. 24 hours a day, call them the A-Team from Ahern Plumbing and Heating. Call 393-4872 for Ahern Plumbing and Heating.
Advanced Systems, the leader in office technology, is like a great baseball coach when it comes to office productivity. Advanced Systems makes the most of your team. They do it with the latest technology for office productivity from Canon. They're also like a great trainer. Advanced Systems Advanced Life Support makes sure your office equipment runs at peak levels and fixes it fast if things go wrong. Hit it over the fence with Canon technology from Advanced Systems. Call 832-8291.
This is for the 21st century with Advanced Systems. When it's important to you, coffee works, let your work shine through. Quality coffee, sweet to it for less. Don't settle for second best. Coffee works, computer center, coffee works. We do it better when you think of coffee. Think of coffee works. Coffee works, coffee works.
Fast-moving action, no score as we go to the top of the 4th inning. The Kernels with Tommy Mendoza on the hill. He has struck out 5 Silverhawks and allowed only 1 hit and a walk. Both those came in the first inning. Justin Upton swings at a changeup, strike 1. South Bend, a good hitting ball club. They're batting .259, 5th highest average in the league, but they're last in the league in home runs with only 7. A fastball squirts off the mid of Flint Whipke. It was low and outside, and it's 1-1 to Justin Upton. 18-year-old first-round pick by the Diamondbacks last year out of Chesapeake, Virginia. And Mendoza with a changeup. It drops low for ball 2. The sun is shining brightly now in right field, and let's hope Warner Madrigal has his glasses on. His sunglasses, that is. Upton on the 2-1 takes it low for ball 3. Heart of the order for the Silverhawks here in the top of the 4th inning. Let's see if Tommy Mendoza can come back and get Upton down 3-1. Upton wraps it past third, and it's into left field for a leadoff single. Credit Tommy Mendoza. He did not walk Justin Upton. Upton cranked it hard and cracked it on the ground on a couple of hops just to the left of Dallas Morris, and Justin Upton is 2 for 2. Let's see if Mark Haley, the seasoned skipper for the Silverhawks, will play hit and run here. A big hole through the right side of the Kernel infield with Mark Trumbo having to hold the runner a throw to first, and Upton dives back head first safely. Rancho Cucamonga, the team in the Cal League comprised of largely all of last year's Kernels, is now 13-11. Ball one outside to the left-handed batter Byrne, who walked in the first. Former Colonel Matt Pauley went 3 for 4 for the Quakes. He scored a couple of runs, but Lancaster whipped the Rancho Cucamonga Ball Club last night 10-6. Upton returns as Tommy Mendoza throws over there. Lights are on, and now the sun disappears. Brian Byrne waits for the 1-0. And it's low for ball 2. I think our guest from Garfield Elementary School may have arrived. Here's a 2-0 pitch for a strike. Yes, I think we have Mason Taylor. Mason, fantastic. We were expecting you, and I'm sorry, I do lock the door on occasion just to make sure the right folks are coming in. Ralph Palmer's here. You talk about the right folks, and Ralph is pointing to Mason, and Ralph Palmer from the RJ Center, a season ticket holder, a great supporter of the Kernels, is Mason Taylor's granddad. Mason, I didn't know that. We'll have to talk about that. How did Ralph get to know you as a granddad?
Well, I don't really know.
How long have you known Ralph?
Since I was a baby.
A little fella. Well, that's great, Mason. You're from Garfield. We were just there earlier this week to promote our reading program. The 2-1. Swing and a foul straight back. Well, Mason, you look like a 4th or 5th grader.
Third. I'm going into 4th.
All right. Well, Mr. Nedelicky's a pretty cool principal, isn't he?
Yeah.
He works hard, but he has a sense of humor. I know this. He loves baseball.
Yeah.
Rick Nedelicky is the principal at Garfield Elementary. The 2-2, Upton draws a throw, and it's a little closer this time. He got backhand first. Brian Byrne batting with the go-ahead run at first. Nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. A scoreless duel here in this series finale. Mason Taylor from Garfield alongside. And Tommy misses high and away, ball 3 with the fastball. Well, Mason, are you counting down the days till school gets out, or is it still a little too early to do that?
I don't know. A little too early.
I think so, too. You still have about, probably a month to go.
Yeah.
There goes the runner. He slips, and a ground ball to first. Good play by Trumbo to trap it against his chest, and Mark makes the unassisted put out at first. Down to second goes the lead run in this game, Justin Upton. So Tommy Mendoza comes back after falling behind the batter 3-1 and gets Brian Byrne to bounce out to first. Mason Taylor, you have a Garfield shirt on, and I'd like to you to describe to our listeners what color it is and what it says.
Well, it's blue with white lining of Garfield on it with the cat, with the Wildcats.
The Wildcats. I didn't know that was your nickname. The Garfield Wildcats. Here's a swing by Orlando Mercado, and he fouls it straight back. I'll tell you what, Mason, it's such a nice night, and the sun is shining now. I think you'll get even a better view. We crank this window up for you. Well, tell us about some of your favorite subjects over there at Garfield in school.
Well, not much, but sometimes I just like to play with my friends. And
sure.
And we have a track, so that's sometimes I run it.
Well, cool. Here's a line shot into center, and it's hauled in by Madison Edwards, and feeding to third after that hard-hit liner is Justin Upton. Boy, did Orlando Mercado ever get good wood on a delivery from Tommy Mendoza. He hit it like a rocket, but right at Madison Edwards, 2 gone, and Upton advanced to third. You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, Mason, that you like all your subjects, but that most importantly, you have good friends at Garfield and that you use the track. When you use the track, do you do some sprint workouts or do you walk or jog?
I sometimes walk, jog, and sprint.
Kind of alternate.
Yeah.
That's a great workout, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have they taught you how to take your pulse yet?
Yeah.
That's important to know what your heart rate is. Swing and a miss by Frank Carreri, a fastball from Tommy Mendoza. He gave up a leadoff single here in the 4th inning and is battling to keep it a scoreless tie with Justin Upton at third and 2 away. Mason Taylor's with us from Garfield, and his godfather, Ralph Palmer's with us as well. Or did I say that right, Mason? Is Ralph your... what is he again?
He's my granddad.
Your granddad. That's the term I was looking for. I'll tell you, Ralph is at almost every home game. Whenever I need an auction for some of the great charity work we try to do, Ralph is willing to volunteer his time. Not willing to. He's eager to do it all the time. Got to know he and Sandy Young out at the fantastic new RJ Center on Council Street. They have it all under one roof there. The 2-1 to Frank Carreri. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Well, Mason, how about baseball? Do you play baseball, or is it something you just enjoy playing in the neighborhood or on the sandlot?
Well, I used to, but sometimes I just like to throw the balls up and hit them.
Isn't that fun? That's just as fun. I still do that as an adult. I love hitting the ball. Swinging a foul by the left-handed batter straight back into the screen as Tommy Mendoza continues to challenge left-handed hitting Frank Carreri, who struck out leading off the second. Runner at third for South Bend, 2 away, top of the 4th inning, no score. This is a very good competition between Tommy Mendoza and left-handed hitting Frank Carreri. And Tommy wins the battle. Swing and a miss by Frank Carreri. Tommy Mendoza pitches around a leadoff single by Justin Upton and records his 6th strikeout in 4 innings and keeps this game 0-0. No runs for South Bend in the 4th. 1 hit. There were no Kernel errors. And the Silverhawks leave a runner aboard. They have now stranded 3. We're going to keep it right here since we have that leeway on our broadcast and visit a little more with Mason Taylor. Mason, who is your teacher at Garfield?
Miss Boucher.
And what do you find the most appealing about her teaching style? I'm sure you like her, and why do you like her?
Well, she is a really good teacher, and she's really good at teaching us math, spelling, cursive.
Oh, you're learning cursive?
Yep.
And you mentioned spelling. Now, do you take a spelling test once a week at Garfield? Or?
Yeah, every Friday.
Every Friday. So that would be later this week. And about 25 words on the test each week or more?
17, actually.
Okay. And how many times would you have to write the word if you happen to misspell it?
You don't actually have to do it over.
Okay. There's ways to reinforce learning it right without doing that.
Yeah.
How many kids are in your class?
Like 19 to 21, I don't know.
Oh, that's a nice size. You buy or take your lunch?
I sometimes buy and take my lunch.
All right. Well, what did you think of our reading program assembly the other day? Did you seem pretty fired up about it?
Oh, yeah.
Good. And you have the scorecard?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, we've got some fantastic ways to motivate you guys with some neat rewards, but most of all, I get the feeling you're the kind of kid, Mason, that you probably read on your own anyway.
Yeah, I already read 100 minutes on it.
Fantastic. That's 4 baseballs already.
Yep.
And here it is only days after. Mason Taylor from Garfield is with us. Mason, what are some of your hobbies?
Mostly football, and that's practically it.
You love football?
Yeah.
Tackle, touch, what kind?
Flag
football, yes. What position?
Any.
Okay, you like to play all over the field.
Yeah.
Did you follow the NFL draft at all?
No.
Okay, well, that's for when you're a little older.
Yeah.
Ball one upstairs to Flint Whipkey. Now a swing and a miss. Flint's red hot. He has 7 hits in this series, including a infield single to the right side of the Silverhawk infield in the second. No score. The Kernels have out hit the Silverhawks 3-2. A curve, and that one's a strike as Flint tried to hold up, but he went around on a half swing. Mason's peering down below. Can you see where any of your classmates are, Mason?
Well, not right now.
Okay, well, we'll keep a sharp eye out. I have a feeling some of them are in those Garfield powder blue shirts. Yeah. A swing and a miss on a delivery in the dirt, and a throw to first by Orlando Mercado completes the strikeout of Flint Whipkey. And that's 4 strikeouts for the right-hander, Eddie Baeza.
Yeah, I see one of my friends now.
Excellent. What's his or her name?
Jeremy,
okay. Do you guys bring the football to Garfield and toss it around during recess or lunch break?
Well, not actually, because we have a box full of balls.
Okay, so you don't have to bring your own.
Yeah. So it doesn't get lost.
Sure. Here's a towering drive way back in right center, but there's enough room for the ballpark to hold it. 385 feet away. It is gathered in by Justin Upton. Mark Trumbo gave it a ride, but Stan Musial used to say, if you want to hit for average and home runs, do everything but hit the ball in the air to center field. And Mark hit it well to center. 2 gone. Here's Warner Madrigal. Mason, are you thinking about joining the Metro Youth Football League?
Oh, yeah. I'm already playing Metro right now.
You are?
Yeah.
Kurt Warner played in that league. Do you wear your glasses during football? I used to wear mine, but the helmet and the face guard would protect me.
No.
You don't wear? Okay. You don't
use our helmets in flag football.
Oh, sure.
We do have mouth guards.
Okay. Man, I used to love playing flag football. Mason, we had a team that it was 6 guys on a side. What do you play?
Like 8.
8, yep. So there's linemen and backs and flankers. Here's a little squibber.
I mostly play running back, QB.
Cool, running back and QB, so you can kind of see the whole field.
Yeah.
Warner Madrigal has rolled to the first baseman, Brian Byrne, and Byrne led the pitcher Baeza to first for a 3-1 putout. The Kernels go down quickly and in order in the 4th inning. Well, Mason, we're going to keep you aboard for one more half inning because we're expecting someone from Taylor School of the Arts. We're not sure yet, but can you hang on with us?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a natural, by the way. I hope you follow communications for a possible career. After 4, Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
That little cough was from Garfield's Mason Taylor, clearing his throat as the Kernels battle the Silverhawks. Here's a hot shot up the middle. Terrific play by Heinley Stacia, and Mason Taylor cheering Heinley on. When that ball left the bat of Trey Hendricks, the Harvard man from the Ivy League, I thought it was a base hit. But it was a hard-hit smash that Heinley Stacia kind of gathered in against his sternum and then threw in time. A one-hopper. Trey Hendricks gone on 2 pitches, 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Mason Taylor is with us from Garfield Elementary School. He's told us about his interest in flag football and how much he enjoys his friends at Garfield and his teacher. And Mason has already read 100 minutes in the 8th Annual Toyota Financial Services Gazette, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger, Bloomsbury Farm reading program. Here's a breaking pitch in at the knees, 1-1 now to Steve Mena. Mason, are you pretty sharp on the computer?
Oh, yeah, sort of.
Do you have one at home?
Yeah.
I just got one this past spring at Best Buy, my first computer ever at age 48, and it's a laptop computer.
Nice.
I'm learning to use it, but I'm no expert. Ball 2 downstairs to Steve Mena, the right-handed hitter, and now a fastball up and away, ball 3. We have a good-sized crowd here, including lots of friends of Mason Taylor. Mason, I know that Ralph Palmer is your
granddad.
Granddad. Swing and a miss. Tell us a little more about your immediate family, brothers, sisters, mom and dad. For instance, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
One little one.
Does she go to Garfield?
Yeah.
What grade?
2nd.
I bet she looks up to you. What's her name?
Shaylin.
Shaylin. A bouncer to 3rd. Ooh, it took a bad low hop, but adjusting was Dallas Morris, and he gets his man. Steve Maina's ground ball appeared to be ready to take a room service hop to Morris, but then it hit the lip of the infield, and it darted down, but Dallas stayed down and made the play without a hitch. 2 gone here in the top of the 5th inning. We're still scoreless as Ricardo Cruz steps in. Mason, you're going to start learning a foreign language later when you get to middle or high school. What foreign language do you think you'll take?
I don't know. Maybe Spanish.
Well, that would be the one to take in terms of our country now. We have so many people coming in for greater opportunity that speak Spanish. Fastball high. Now a delivery outside. It's 2-0 to Cruz. And then your folks, Mason, what do?
Well, my dad works at Rockwell Collins out at Eastern Iowa Airport.
Wow.
And my mom works at St. Luke's Hospital.
Fantastic. Last night was Nurses Recognition Night. Is she a nurse?
Well, not exactly, but she's an X-ray tech.
Oh, okay. So she knows how to read an X-ray or administer an X-ray and then help read it.
Yeah.
And your dad gets to work for Rockwell at the Eastern Iowa Airport.
Yep.
Man, I bet sometimes you can get close to the runway to watch the big jets land.
Yeah.
Here's a bouncer that almost comes right up to Mason Taylor and I. Let's look over and make sure everybody's all right. Andy Pantini, I'm looking out the window, and I don't see Andy waving a white flag of surrender, so I guess he's all right. That ball came back, skipping over the backstop. 2-2 now to Ricardo Cruz, right-handed hitter. Strike 3 called! Ricardo Cruz and records his 7th strikeout of the game. Tommy Mendoza has been delivering nothing but aspirin tablets so far here tonight, and he has been very, very sharp. 7 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 walk through 5 innings for 18-year-old right-hander Tommy Mendoza. I'll tell you what, Mason, since this game's going so quickly, I know you and Ralph want to get back down to Garfield. 1 more half inning?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good to me. After 4.5, it's still scoreless between the Kernels and Silverhawks. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Oh, come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
Boy, did we have some fun between innings. The Cedar Rapids Golf Department with their chipping contest, and they use an oversized 9-iron or a wedge and some big soft golf balls, and Mr. Shuck stands out in left field with a hula hoop closest to the pin, and both contestants did quite well. Madison Edwards in this scoreless duel squares and to bunt and takes the pitch outside. Our time is evaporating with Mason Taylor of Garfield Elementary. He's been a delightful young man to get to know here representing his school, the Wildcats. Swing and a miss by Edwards, strike one. Madison ended the Kernels' second by bouncing out to second. Quite a pitching duel between 18-year-old Kernel right-hander Tommy Mendoza and South Bend Silverhawk 21-year-old right-hander Eddie Baeza. Madison shoots the next pitch foul, high up into the net. Strike two. Mason, do you play a musical instrument?
Yeah.
What do you play?
Violin.
Wow, so when we acted out the story, the Bat Boy and his violin, you were pretty familiar with it.
Yep.
How often do you take lessons?
Tuesday and Thursday.
You're pretty serious about it. A changeup is blooped into shallow left, and it is caught. On the run, Trey Hendricks one-handed it in shallow left. Madison Edwards' Texas League hit bid was thwarted in left by Trey Hendricks. One out here in the Kernel fifth inning. We may or may not have a guest from Taylor School of the Arts. From Taylor Elementary. All night I've been saying Johnson School of the Arts. And it is Johnson, I'm sorry, not Taylor. I've been saying it right. It's Johnson School tonight, along with Garfield. Ball one low to Infante. Well, Mason, do you use rosin on the bow of your violin?
Sometimes.
Sure. My brother played the violin, and he was pretty good at it. Ball two downstairs to Larry Infante, who struck out, leading off the third inning. The Kernels have had the better scoring chances tonight. Put two on with nobody out in the second. Had runners aboard at first and second with two out in the third, but have not been able to cash in yet. 2-0 to Larry. He's taking all the way, and there's a strike. Mason, who is your violin teacher?
Her name is Sarah Wedgwood.
And does Sarah teach you right out of Garfield or at home?
At Garfield.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Infante pounds one off the catcher, and that hurts Orlando Mercado. There you go, Mason. We're just going to keep that microphone right up there for you. So you're a pretty busy guy then if you're doing well in school. Football is your main hobby and love, and you're taking violin lessons twice a week. Do your parents give you an allowance?
No.
Do they expect you to do certain tasks or chores at home?
Certain tasks and chores sometimes.
I used to have to clean out the puppy pen and sweep out the garage and empty the trash. How about you?
Well, not much.
Okay. A high fastball, and Larry Infante couldn't get around in time. He strikes out for the second time. 2 away here in the Kernel fifth inning. No score. We'll have our Springhouse trivia question for you in the top of the sixth inning, provided we don't have a guest coming from Johnson School of the Arts. Heinley Stacia, the switch-hitting Kernel leadoff batter tonight, has grounded sharply short and singled into left center. Ball one upstairs from Eddie Baeza. This has been a well-ordered ball game with both hurlers throwing strikes. There's strike one on the inside corner to Heinley. Well, next year, Mason, I think is the year you'll start learning your states and capitals at Garfield.
Yep.
That's pretty big stuff. The 1-1. Finally, Stacia swatted it cleanly through the middle, and he's 2 for 3. Now I would expect Bobby Magallanes to try to have Stacia steal second base. In a scoreless game in the fifth inning with 2 out, I have to think that Bobby Magallanes will give Heinley Stacia the green light to try to steal second. Oh, Heinley looked good as he waited on that pitch and stroked it into shallow center for his second straight hit. Mason, do you think you and your sister and family will take any vacation this summer?
Yeah, a lot.
Well, where do you think you'll go?
The Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri.
I've been down there. Boating, golf.
Oh, yeah, the boating's fun.
It sure is. Boy, your mom and dad really care about you guys, don't they?
Yeah, my uncle has a condo down there, lakefront.
Oh, my goodness. That's wonderful. Well, I took one vacation down there with my family, and we really enjoyed it. It's been about 30 years ago. It was called Tantera. Have you ever heard of Tantera?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, that's wonderful. Do you have a hammock down there that you can lay out in?
No. But we do have a lot of fishing poles.
Cool. So you guys know how to fish.
Yep.
Now, has Ralph Palmer and you ever sunk a line together?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going to meet my little brother for Big Brothers Big Sisters tomorrow. His name's Logan, and I have to learn how to fish, so sometime I can take him fishing.
Yeah.
I'm scared to put the worm on the hook. It's 0-2 now to Dallas Morris. Hindley Stacia is not running, at least not yet. A hard hit smash and a bad hop. The shortstop recovers and bobbles and throws to second to get the sliding Hindley Stacia. An 0-2 pitch was drilled hard on 2 hops to the shortstop, Pedro Ciriaco. He bobbled it, recovered, and forced Stacia shortstop to second to end the inning. In the 5th inning, no runs for the Kernels, 1 hit. There were no South Bend errors. The Kernels leave a runner aboard and have stranded 5. Our Springhouse trivia question comes your way in the next half inning. Well, Mason Taylor, you enjoy the rest of this evening with your friends and family down below and with our good friend Ralph Palmer.
Okay.
Mason, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's Mason Taylor, well-mannered, intelligent, hard-working, outstanding young 3rd grader, soon-to-be 4th grader at Garfield under Rick Nedelicki. As we go to the 6th inning, the Kernels nothing and South Bend nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
If your spring cleaning plans include throwing out household furniture items, be sure to follow the instructions on the orange bulky item collection flyer you received in the mail. Up to 4 items, such as couches, mattresses, and box springs, dressers, wooden desks, and bookshelves, would be picked up by city crews. However, appliances, TVs, computer components, and scrap metal will not be collected. Your orange flyer will tell you where to dispose of such prohibited items. Thanks for using your orange flyer as your spring cleanup resource.
Means Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. And Mother's Day is just around the corner. It's Sunday, May 14th, and Peck's has a wide array of flower bouquets, plants, all sorts of wonderful, colorful, loving gifts at Peck's. And they invite you to think about Mother's Day now. For the perfect floral gift or plant for your mom, Peck's has it, and they'll deliver it. Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. They're open from 8 to 8 on weekdays and until 5 o'clock on weekends. You can visit Peck's at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Roads Northeast. And call them also, 393-5565. Peck's Flower and Garden Shop is your professional FTD and Teleflora florist. A slow roller to the right of the mound, and Tommy Mendoza pops off the hill and gets his man, leadoff batter Pedro Ciriaco, 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning in a scoreless battle. Ciriaco's now 0 for 3. We'll take your calls at the end of this 6th inning for a chance to earn a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. If you've been one of our 10 previous Springhouse trivia question winners, fantastic. Please don't call in this evening. A hard smash to second by Leyson Séptimo, gobbled up there by Larry Infante, and he whips his throw to first, and there are 2 gone quickly here in the South Bend 6th inning. Oh, Tommy Mendoza's working on a masterpiece. Last night it was Moose Mosbach with 8 innings of shutout baseball. Tonight, 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball tossed by Tommy Mendoza. And if we don't get to our Springhouse trivia question here in the top of the 6th, we'll try it in the bottom half. The Springhouse reminds you to look for their ad in the food section of the Penny Saver every Wednesday. That's tomorrow, featuring a coupon for $2 off, Monday through Friday, for lunch and dinner. So look in the food section of the Penny Saver tomorrow for that $2 off coupon from the Spring House. 1 ball, 1 strike to left to the number 3 hitter Justin Upton. A curve inside, and it's 2-1 to Upton. He's 2 for 2. Swing and a foul straight back. Justin Upton is now even on the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll see if we can get to the Spring House trivia question here in this top of the 6th inning. We just don't know. It depends on what this 2-2 pitch brings from Mendoza to Upton. Here it is. Ball 3 just outside. Here's our Springhouse trivia question. 2 left-handed relief pitchers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets share a unique distinction. First, the payoff pitch. A towering pop foul, chased by Flint Whipke. Does he have room? No, it's 6 rows up into the red premier seats behind the backstop. 2 left-handed relief pitchers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets share a unique distinction. Each of them pitched for over 20 seasons without accumulating 100 career wins. We'd like you to name those 2 left-handed relievers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets. Each of them have pitched in the big leagues for over 20 years without garnering 100 wins. We'll give you the number to call. It's 896-7589, 896-7589, and we'll take your calls in the bottom of the 6th, or after this top of the 6th. A high pop-up behind the base at second should end the inning. Heinle Stacia directly behind the base at second has it. Justin Upton is popped out to short, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Mendoza, and that is his 4th 1-2-3 inning in 6 this evening. 4 1-2-3 innings for Tommy Mendoza in 6 frames. Down in order go the Silverhawks in the top of the 6th inning. Let's give you that Springhouse trivia question and phone number once again. Here we go. 2 left-handed relief pitchers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets share a unique distinction. Each of them pitched for over 20 seasons without accumulating 100 career wins. Name those 2 left-handed pitchers. 896-7589. 896-7589. 896-7589. That's the number to call for your crack at a $5 gift certificate from the Springhouse. 896-7589. 896-7589. After 5.5, we're scoreless. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Sylvia, you know that cruise you've always wanted?
Yeah?
Well, there it is.
That would be our house, Bob. Are you feeling all right, dear?
Well, this is so cool. Guaranteed Bank will let us use the equity in our home to do just about anything we want. College tuition, a room addition, a cruise, and best of all, the interest may be tax deductible. Now do you see it? Oh, the sun, the waves, the tropical breezes.
Ooh, now I see it. It's a convertible. The sun on my face, the wind in my hair.
See your guaranteed banker in Cedar Rapids, Marion, or Hiawatha, and use the equity in your home to do whatever you want, even if it's just to get out of the house.
The feel of the road, the roar of the engine.
The roar of the...
Hey, it's my kind of life. Keep your hands off my Porsche, Bobby boy.
Guaranteed Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Consult your tax advisor for interest deductibility. Some restrictions apply.
If you're looking to enhance your property's appearance, function, or value, make the experts at King's Materials your most reliable teammate. Retaining walls? You bet. Custom patios? Bingo. Bulk blazing steps? King's Material says yes. King's Material has all the brick, concrete, and stone elements to make your landscaping, masonry, and architectural projects become a reality. To view the astonishing array of beautiful and innovative products King's Material can bring to your home, yard, or business, visit King's online at kingsmaterial.com.
Heart of the order for the Kernels, bottom of the 6th. We're scoreless. Pat Riley pushes a bunt foul outside third, strike 1. Riley, Renz, and Whipke, the middle of the Kernel order, to take on Eddie Baeza, who has shut the Kernels out on 4 hits. Tommy Mendoza's done him 2 better. Tommy's yielded only 2 hits in 6 innings. No score, Riley, the Kernel leading hitter with a .326 average. And a high pop foul. There should be a play for Brian Byrne. The first baseman staggers underneath it, and has the foul pop about 20 feet in front of the base up the first baseline. Pat Riley has started the Colonel 6 by fouling out to first. In 10 seasons, we have never stumped any of you in the Springhouse Trivia question. We may be heading for that this evening, although I doubt it. Our Springhouse Trivia question. 2. Here's a high pop foul, and the first baseman coming over in the identical spot and makes another catch. Jordan Renz fouls out to first. 2 away here in the 6th inning. 2 gone on a pair of foul pops up the first baseline. Our Springhouse Trivia question. 2 left-handed relief pitchers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets share a unique distinction. Each of them pitched for over 20 seasons, neither accumulating 100 career wins. Name them. 896-7589. 896-7589, the number to call. Their initials, one of their initials is J.O., the other initial is J.F. J.F. has 424 career saves. J.O. pitched in 1,252 games. Name those 2 lefties who pitched over 20 seasons, many of them with the Mets, and they did not garner 100 victories in their career. 896-7589. 896-7589, the number to call. Ball 2 outside to Flint Whipkey. Our Springhouse Trivia question is there for the taking. A $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. If you can name those 2 Met left-handers, or not all with the Mets, but the majority of their 20 seasons were played as Mets. And one of them has 424 saves in his 21 seasons. The other pitched 24 years in the big leagues, 1979 to 2003. But neither of them, despite 20 years plus in the big leagues, won 100 games. Here's a high pop foul off to the left by Whipkey. It's 2-2. Or off to the right, rather. The number to call, 896-7589. 896-7589. And we'll even go one step further. If you've won the Springhouse Trivia question this season, you can call tonight. Maybe that will jog some memories. A change-up, and Whipkey protecting the plate, rolls it foul to the Silverhawk third base dugout. Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. Bottom of the 6th inning, bases empty, 2 away. Flint Whipkey waiting for a 2-2 pitch from Eddie Baeza. Here it is. A tap to second. Charged by Cruz. Ricardo flips to first to retire Whipkey. The Kernels go in order in the bottom of the 6th inning. And after 6, it's still a 0-0 draw here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. As we head to the 7th, Tommy Mendoza back to the hill. Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Jumpstart your future with learning from Kirkwood Community College. No matter what your age or previous work experience, you have new opportunities as close as your phone. 398-5517. Kirkwood has hundreds of choices for career and technical programs. Kirkwood has financial aid and support options to help you succeed, and Kirkwood has locally based centers to help you balance work, family, and learning. Kirkwood is ready when you're ready. Call Kirkwood Admissions today. 398-5517. Kirkwood. Start here, go anywhere.
Convenience and trust, 2 things all of us want. At Tri-State Travel, we offer both. It's convenient for you to make one call or one visit to our office for all your travel needs. A one-day tour, a cruise, a trip to Branson, to charter a motor coach. For 66 years, Tri-State Travel has been a name you can trust to provide quality products. Come see why you can trust us to provide the convenience you expect. Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
the kids are having a blast here singing SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. They're having a great time, and we're sure glad you're with us. Just past 8 o'clock here on the Kernel Radio Network. This is 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. Brian Byrne first up for the Silverhawks, and he pops a pitch foul off to the left out of the reach of Dallas Morris, strike one. Kind of a purple sky here at the top of the hour. And we have a winner in our Springhouse Trivia question, so our record stays intact. In 8 years, we have yet to stump our great listeners across eastern Iowa. Ooh, a changeup just drops low. Ball one to the cleanup batter, Brian Byrne, who's walked and wrapped out to first. He's a left-handed batter. Leading off in the top of the seventh. Fastball, inside corner, strike two from Tommy Mendoza. Our Springhouse Trivia question. Two left-handed relief pitchers who spent the majority of their careers with the Mets share a unique distinction. There's a change-up low, 2-2 to Byrne. Each of those lefties pitched for over 20 seasons without accumulating 100 career wins. We ask you to name them both. The 2-2 to Byrne. Popped foul, no play for Flint Whipke or Dallas Morris. 2-2, the count remains to Brian Byrne. Scott Unash, who worked for the Springhouse when he was a teenager. And Scott had a wonderful trivia question from North Country Steakhouse on his 19th hole show this afternoon. And Scott saved the day for all of us by naming those two relief pitchers, John Franco and Jesse Orozco. Ball three high. Let's see if Tommy can throw a strike. He does, and a swing and a miss. Oh, Tommy Mendoza blew it by Brian Byrne. 8 strikeouts for the Colonel 18-year-old. And that is now 10 in a row set down by Tommy Mendoza. 10 in a row for Tommy Mendoza, and he has struck out 8. He's pitching his best game of the season, and he drops a curveball into Orlando Mercado, strike one. Scott Unash, the 4-time Iowa Sportscaster of the Year, great friend and colleague and the sports director at the Zone 1600, got the Springhouse Trivia question. Swing and a miss on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that took Orlando Mercado all the way across home plate with his healthy cut. Orlando Mercado, a .246 hitter, 2 homers, 12 RBIs. Jesse Orozco, 24 seasons in the big leagues, 87 wins, 80 losses. 1,252 games. Ball one upstairs as Tommy wasted it. John Franco, 21 seasons in the big leagues, 90 wins, 87 losses, 424 saves, 1,119 games. Both of them spent the majority of their careers with the Mets. The 1-2 inside a fastball. In fact, the Kernels faced Jesse Orozco when he was a Cardinal on a rehab stint at Old Pete Vanaken Stadium several years back. The 2-2 from Tommy to Mercado. A changeup drifts inside, and after going 0-2, Orlando Mercado has run the count full. No score. We're in the top of the 7th inning in the series finale between the Kernels and South Bend. Tommy's payoff offering. A high drive to left. Pat Riley back a few steps. Underneath it, puts it away. Orlando Mercado stroked it off the end of the bat. It sounded good, but it was a routine fly ball out to left. That's 11 in a row now set down by Tommy Mendoza. The last South Bend batter to reach against him was Justin Upton, who led off the 4th inning with a bouncer into left for a leadoff single. Since then, Mendoza has retired 11 in a row, and the Kernels get a right-hander, Chris Howell, up in their bullpen. Ball one is low to left-handed hitting Frank Carreri. The 1-0. High and away, ball two. Tommy Mendoza is into uncharted waters in that he has not gone. Well, no, he's gone 7 innings once this season. 7 innings once. He misses low, ball 3 to Carreri. Look out. Frank has struck out twice, but I'm wagering that the South Bend skipper, Mark Haley, will turn him loose. No, he gives him the red light. Strike 1 called. Tommy's still getting it up there at 90 miles an hour. 18-year-old Tommy Mendoza. The 3-1. Swing and a tip foul. Strike 2. Mendoza, a 5th-round Angel pick last year, hurled in 13 games for Mesa in the rookie ranks in Arizona. 2 starts for Rancho Cucamonga, or 1 start for Rancho. Here's a drive into left center. Madison Edwards has a beat on it, comes in to snare it for the out. Tommy Mendoza, 7 shutout innings, retires 12 men in a row. That may be it for Mendoza, but if it is, he finishes with a flourish. Tommy Mendoza, 7 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball, retires his 12th in a row to end the Silverhawks' 7th inning. And after 6.5, with Lindale Dental presenting the 7th inning stretch, Kernels nothing, South Bend nothing. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Bottom of the 7th inning. No score. Only 6 hits in the game. 4 surrendered by Silverhawk starter Eddie Baeza, who will face Mark Trumbo, Warner Madrigal, and Madison Edwards here in the bottom of the 7th. Ball 1 upstairs from Baeza to Trumbo. Tommy Mendoza may give way to Chris Howell in the 8th inning. If the Kernels can score here in the 7th, it would put Tommy at least in line to qualify for a win. A little Texas League looper into right gets the Kernels started on the right foot here in the 7th. Mark Trumbo strong enough to hoist that pitch in on his hands and dump it into shallow right. A Texas League leadoff single for Mark Trumbo. He's 1 for 3. And now let's see if Warner Madrigal will try to lay a bunt down. That base hit by Trumbo is only the 5th Kernel hit of this game. Warner Madrigal hitting .237. The third baseman is, here's a high fly ball into right center on the run. Séptimo is there, and Leyson has it. His first pitch swinging, Warner Madrigal's drive hung up in the right center field gap and was lassoed in by Leyson Séptimo, the right fielder. 1 on, 1 out as Warner flies to right. He's 0 for 3. Madison Edwards, left-handed batter, at the plate for the 3rd time. Number 8 hitter. Trumbo running in a high fly ball to right. Septimo has to trot in a few steps and to his right to glove it. 2 gone here in the 7th. The hit and run was on. Madison Edwards accomplished 2 of the 3 elements of a good hit and run. He put the bat on the ball and he hit it to the right side of the infield, or the right side of the diamond, but he flies to right. 2 away here in the Kernels 7th. Larry Infante has struck out twice. We'll have our baseball fun fact for you coming up. In this scoreless game, Tommy Mendoza will likely be lifted after going 7 innings and blanking South Bend on 2 hits, striking out 8 and walking 1. Dominant performance by the Colonel 18-year-old right-hander. And a delivery low and away makes it 2-0 on Larry Infante. Ordinarily, you'd think Bobby Magianis would have Larry take on a 2-0 count, but knowing that Baeza wants to throw a strike, it wouldn't surprise me if Larry is swinging here. No, ball 3, low and outside. Ball 3 to Larry Infante. Lurking on deck, Heinle Stacia, who has 2 hits in his last 2 trips. The 3-0 to Infante, left-handed batter. Swing and a miss, he cut it loose, strike 1. South Bend has their 7-foot 1-inch right-hander throwing in their bullpen. That's right, 7 foot 1-inch tall. Right-hander Ryan Doherty. Ball 4, high and inside. Larry Infante was almost struck by that pitch. And now the Kernels have runners at first and second, 2 out. Let's see if Wellington Cepeda, yes, Wellington Cepeda is coming to the mound to encourage his right-hander, Eddie Baeza. No score. We're in the top or bottom of the 7th inning. 7 foot 1-inch tall. Ryan Doherty is warming up for South Bend. The Kernels have Chris Howell has stopped throwing, so if he's going to come into the game, he's ready to go. And a long talk on the hill by Wellington Cepeda to his right-hander, Eddie Baeza. The Kernels put 2 men on to start the 2nd inning and did not score. Had 2 aboard with 2 out in the 3rd inning and couldn't break through. Had a runner at first, this batter, Heinle Stacia, with 2 out in the 5th inning. But Eddie Baeza pitched around that. And let's see if Heinle Stacia can drive in the first run of this ball game. Heinle's a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Trumbo doesn't run particularly well at second, but there are 2 out, so he'll be going on anything. Stacia takes a lollipop curve upstairs for ball 1, and it looks like Eddie Baeza is running out of gas. Just by his body language, he looks fatigued. He takes a big, deep breath, comes set just above the belt. The 1-0. A high pop foul, or the left fielder can't find it. The shortstop goes out. It's a foul ball, and an acrobatic catch by Pedro Ciriaco in foul ground ends the inning. Pedro Ciriaco came to the aid of Trey Hendricks, the left fielder, who lost the ball in the purple sky. It was a foul ball, and Pedro Ciriaco, sprinting down the left field line from his shortstop position, made a whale of a running catch to end the Kernels' 7th inning threat. No runs in the 7th for the Kernels. 1 hit, a walk. There were no Silverhawk errors, and the Kernels leave 2 men aboard and have left 7. A U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen, sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. We'll tell you about Chris Howell when South Bend bats in the top of the 8th. Through 7, Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin. You know, Hometown Restyling has served Eastern Iowans since 1986, providing the very finest in windows, siding, and sunrooms. Their experienced staff can handle the job from start to finish, including plans, permits, and inspections. Plus, Hometown Restyling is nationally recognized by Professional Remodeler, Qualified Remodeler, and Remodeling magazines. Call Hometown Restyling for your next remodeling project, or better yet, visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hiawatha or Coralville. Hometown Restyling, because there's no place like home.
Solid Waste and Recycling Services' most valuable player is that big, sturdy cart you use to put your yard and organic debris into. Yardie. Yardie's a real workhorse when it comes to gobbling up your lawn and garden debris. You can expand its capacity by mulching your leaves and other yard debris with your lawnmower, leaf vacuum, or leaf blower. Yardie's okay swallowing up brush and branches, but he'd prefer that you bundle and tie them together and place them beside him. Remember, your Yardie can do more for you if you give him those two special treatments, mulching and bundling.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
Chris Howell starts the eighth inning by getting left-handed hitting Trey Hendricks to ground out to second. One pitch, one out, bottom or top of the eighth inning, and it's a scoreless game between the Kernels and Silverhawks. Strike one from Howell to the number 8 hitter Steve Mena, who was 0-for-2 against the departed Kernel starter Tommy Mendoza. Now a fastball outside from Chris. Tommy Mendoza, 7 innings pitched. He allowed no runs, 2 hits, struck out 8, walked 1. He was magnificent. Now a fastball just misses low, 2-1 to Mena. Chris Howell, 22-year-old right-hander from the University of Tennessee by way of Georgia. A high pop foul over the Kernel first base dugout evens the count to Mena. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mena, a right-handed hitter. 200 average, no homers, 3 RBIs for Steve Mena. Chris Howell has gotten the leadoff man here in the 8th inning. Chris has been a solid right-handed reliever for the Kernels this spring. His changeup is low for ball 3. Howell, 1-1 on the year, on in relief for the 8th time, a 4.05 ERA. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a tip foul. Whitkey held it. 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. Chris Howell, in 13 1/3 innings this season, has allowed only 14 hits, struck out 10 in 13 1/3, walked 4, the league hitting .286 against Chris Howell. Bases empty, 2 gone. Let's see if Ricardo Cruz may try to bunt his way on. No, he takes strike one, a fastball at the knees. Howell, last time out in Lansing, Friday night, a pitch in on Cruz's hands, and he bloops it foul over the screen. Strike 2. Chris went 2 2/3 at Oldsmobile Park, surrendered 4 runs on 4 hits, struck out 3, walked 2, and he was hung with a loss in a Lansing 9-7 come from behind win. Ball 1, low and outside from Chris to Ricardo Cruz. We're scoreless in the top of the 8th inning. Cruz lifts the next pitch foul high down the right field line, out of play. A day off tomorrow, and then we open a 4-game series with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers starting Thursday evening. That's a Thirsty Thursday. 12-ounce draft beer and 12-ounce sodas are only $1. Swing and a miss by Cruz. A late swing. Chris Howell picks up right where Tommy Mendoza left off. He retires South Bend in order in the 8th inning, and that's now 15 straight Silverhawks that have fallen by the wayside. 15 straight South Bend hitters have been retired. Can the Kernels do anything against Eddie Baeza? Well, he's done. The 7-foot 1-inch right-hander is coming in, and that's Ryan Doherty. As we go to the home half of the 8th, it's still the Kernels nothing, South Bend nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Step up to the plate this summer and nominate your favorite Cedar Rapids Kernel for the Rockwell Collins Fans' Choice Award. Every time you catch a Kernels game, fill out a Fan's Choice ballot to recognize the efforts of your favorite ball players. Then drop the ballot in the designated box at the souvenir stand. During the season's final homestand, Rockwell Collins will present the Fan's Choice Trophy to the player with the most votes and make a donation to that player's favorite charity. Rockwell Collins and the Cedar Rapids Kernels, teammates working for a better community.
Worked hard, and you're finally your own boss. As a business owner, you may not want to hear the word liability, but it comes with the territory. Smart business owners protect their investments with a business owner's policy from Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha. Neighbor Insurance Services can show you how to secure the right amount of protection for your business at affordable rates. Your business is important. See Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha for business owners insurance.
A 7-foot 1-inch right-hander comes on to face the Kernels in this scoreless game, bottom of the 8th inning. It's Ryan Doherty. One of our baseball fun facts from earlier on the homestand, the tallest pitcher in the major leagues, not Randy Johnson at 6'10", 6'11", John Roush of the Washington Nationals. I would venture to say that this hurler, working from the stretch to Dallas Morris, is the tallest pitcher in professional baseball. 7 feet 1 inch, Ryan Doherty. And he's all of 7'1". They used to call Pete Ladd of the Milwaukee Brewers Bigfoot because he wore size 15 shoes. I bet Doherty wears 16. A pitch in the dirt, ball one to Morris, and now a curveball, and Dallas fouls it straight back. TV9's John Campbell is filming from right behind home plate. He and this big crowd on Garfield Johnson Elementary School night have seen a great pitching duel, a high pop foul, and the catcher, Orlando Mercado, comes back to the screen but runs out of room. 1-2 to Dallas Morris. He told me this morning on our visits to Prairie View and St. Ludmilla's elementary schools to promote the 8th annual Toyota Financial Services Gazette, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger Bloomsbury Farm reading program, that Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry, went to his school, Louisiana Lafayette. A curve high from Doherty. 2-2 to Dallas. And he strokes the next pitch foul off to the right. Eddie Baeza, 7 shutout innings, allowed the Kernels 5 hits, struck out 5, walked 1, and hit a batter. So Baeza was almost as impressive as Tommy Mendoza. Mendoza, 7 innings pitched, no runs, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Dallas Morris stays alive and lifts the pitch foul off to the right. It's still 2 balls, 2 strikes to Dallas. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Action in each club's bullpens. Dallas Morris hits one to left on a line, but Trey Hendricks is right there to make the catch. Hendricks didn't have to move a step as Dallas Morris skies to left, 1 away here in the 8th inning. No score. Our baseball fun fact takes us back to 1962. When the National League granted a franchise to New York after the Giants left. Horace Stoneham moved the Giants to San Francisco in 1958, and the number to the shortstop. Ciriaco charges it, pounds the pill into his mitt, and just does get Pat Riley on a bang-bang play at first. Pat Riley rolls out to short. 2 away here in the Colonel 8th inning. New York's National League expansion team had there were several names considered before they settled on the Mets. The names, the New York Burros, the New York Rebels, the New York Jets, the New York Continentals, the New York Avengers, the New York Skyliners, the New York Skyscrapers, the New York Bees, and the New York Meadowlarks were all considered. But the name that won out, the New York Mets, short for Metropolitans. Jordan Renz on a 1-0 pitch checked his swing in time, according to the base umpire, about 60 feet behind the first base bag. 2-0 to Jordan, who led off the second with a single, but is flown out and fouled out since. Here's a towering fly ball into shallow right. Ricardo Cruz, the second baseman, 10 feet out into shallow right, gloves it to end the eighth. Ryan Doherty retires the number 2, 3, and 4 men in the Kernel order in the bottom of the eighth inning. We head to the top of the ninth. We'll have a little more about our baseball fun fact, the naming of the Mets, when South Bend bats in the ninth inning. After 8, Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving Eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin Insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Top of the order for South Bend in the top of the ninth inning. Pedro Ciriaco looks at a strike called from right-hander Chris Howell. No score as we go to the ninth. Ciriaco, a .333 hitter, 0 for 3 tonight. And he loops a curveball to second base. Larry Infante underneath it, and Larry brings it down, one away on 2 pitches here in the top of the ninth inning. Both starters have been lifted, and the game is in the hands of the bullpens. 4 in a row set down by Chris Howell as he gets Ciriaco to pop out to second. Leyson Séptimo, left-handed hitter who has 7 hits in this series, takes ball 1 low. Séptimo tonight is flown to left, struck out, and grounded to second. Here's a bullet foul past first. 16 straight hitters have been retired by Kernel pitchers Tommy Mendoza and Chris Howell. 16 in a row. Séptimo has an open stance. A ghost of a, no bend in his knees. I was about to say a ghost of a bend. Ball 2 down and in from Chris Howell, the right-hander. Signed as a free agent by the Angels after he pitched for the Tennessee Volunteers in the College World Series. Séptimo tried to hold up, couldn't on a sinker, and he's even on the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Our baseball fun fact, spotlighting the various names that were considered before the New York franchise in the National League, the expansion team, took the name the Mets. And of those litany of names, the Burros, the Rebels, the Jets, the Continentals, the Avengers, the Skyliners, the Skyscrapers, the Bees, and the Meadowlarks came the closest to being the name chosen until the Mets emerged. A 2-2 pitch is inside as Séptimo jackknifes out of the way. A full count now to Leyson Séptimo, the last Silverhawk runner in this game. Upton, a leadoff single in the 4th. Here's a little dribbler to the right side. Trumbo flips it over the head of Howell from his glove, and Leyson Séptimo, did he round first and go to second? Yes, he did, and he's called out. He's called out. After he got past first, he took 4 or 5 steps towards second, tried to come back, and he was tagged out. The Kernels get a big break. Let's see how Al Grulwell rules it. I believe it'll be a 3-3 put out, or who picked that ball up? Was it Howell or Trumbo? Now a foul straight back by Justin Upton. We'll wait for Al Grulwell's ruling. What happened was that Trumbo came in on a slow roller, and with Séptimo running, Mark figured his only chance would be to flip the ball from his glove hand to first. He did that, but it went sailing over Howell's head. Leyson Séptimo beat out what should be ruled an infield single, and then he was out trying to stretch it into a double. I think that's how they'll rule it, but we'll have to wait and see. There are 2 gone here in the... Okay, they've charged Trumbo with an error, E3. No hit for Séptimo, and then a put-out for Larry Infante on the wide turn at first by Séptimo. Meanwhile, strike 2 called to Justin Upton. Did he go around? Doesn't matter. Strike 3 called. 18 straight Silverhawks have been retired in this game. 18 in a row by Tommy Mendoza and Chris Howell. Upton caught looking to end the 9th inning. Down in order go the Silverhawks in the 9th inning. They have not had a base runner since a leadoff single in the 4th by Justin Upton, the batter who just struck out looking. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Series finale, Kernels and Silverhawks. The Kernels trying for a series sweep after 8.5. Kernels nothing, South Bend nothing. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall and listen to Mix 96.5. If you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and Mix 96.5.
It's unheard of and industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Keel Honda on Center Point Road Northeast. Randy Keel Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid, with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Keel Honda in person on Center Point Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Bottom of the 9th inning. Scoreless tussle, scoreless game between the Kernels and Silverhawks. Flint Whipke first up, swings and misses, and another cut, another miss by Flint, who has one of the Kernel 5 hits tonight. Bottom of the 9th inning, Ryan Doherty, the 7-foot, 1-inch tall right-hander, is ahead of Flint Whipke 0-2. And he just missed outside with the fastball. Doherty working from the stretch with nobody on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Flint is a .283 batter, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. Curve and a little looper over first. It may fall. It does. Whipke will round first and hold on with the leadoff single. A Texas League bleeder off the end of the bat. Dumped down the right field line, just over the head of Brian Byrne, and the Kernels have the winning run at first with 1 out, or with nobody out, here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That was sheer luck. Flint was fooled on the pitch, checked his swing, and the ball caromed off the barrel of off the end of his bat, and fell over the first baseman's head, fair by about a foot in shallow right. A bunt by Mark Trumbo up the first base line, knocked foul by the catcher, Orlando Mercado. Mark Trumbo was called upon to try to lay a bunt down in the second inning when the Kernels had 2 men on and nobody out. He couldn't do it, wound up striking out, and Mark is in the hole 0-1 right now. Ryan Doherty, no record this year, on for the 7th time, had retired the side in order in the 8th, was ahead of Flint Whipkey 0-2 before Flint reached on a little flare over the first baseman's head. Here's a pop-up behind the mound. Doherty has it. A bunt attempt by Mark Trumbo, and that's foiled as Mark, in his sacrifice attempt, pops up to the pitcher. 1 out here in the 9th inning. The Kernels have been so good in getting bunts down that they've spoiled us this season. Mark Trumbo did put the bat on the ball, but his bunt was high into the air, right back to the pitcher's mound, where Doherty reached up as though he was dunking a basketball and caught it. Ooh, a pitch in the wheelhouse of Warner Madrigal. He wishes he had that back. A swing and a miss, strike 1. 1,334 looking on, hoping the Kernels can win this one in the bottom of the 9th inning. No score. Warner has not had an extra base hit this season. Short lead at first by Whipkey. A long look by Doherty, and Warner calls time. He's granted time by the plate umpire. A curve, and Warner lifts it foul way over the grass slope seating berm down the left field line. 0-2 to Warner Madrigal. Winning run at first, Flint Whipkey. The Kernels tried to bunt him into scoring position, but Ryan Doherty got Mark Trumbo to bunt right back to him in the air. There's a fastball at the knees. Strike 3 called to Warner Madrigal. 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the crowd howls at the plate umpire. They thought that pitch was low and outside. 2 gone, and Madison Edwards the batter. Ryan Doherty, in 10 2/3 innings, has given up 12 hits, struck out 15 in 10 2/3, walked 3. There's a strike at the thighs to Madison Edwards. He's 0 for 3. Doherty is retired has gotten the next 2 Kernels after Whipkey singled. There's a pitch outside. It's 1-1. Bottom of the 9th inning. Both starters, Eddie Baeza for South Bend and Colonel 18-year-old right-hander Tommy Mendoza, pitched 7 shutout innings. There's a changeup outside. It's 2-1 to Madison Edwards. Our baseball fun fact: some of the humorous and appropriate names that were suggested for the New York expansion team in 1962, they wound up being called the Mets. Whipkey takes a few steps towards second as though he was going to try to steal the base, and then Flint goes back as Madison Edwards fouls one away into the last row of seats above the third base Silverhawk dugout. And that fella's being awarded a lifetime honorary Colonel contract and a free spaghetti dinner to Zio Giano's. Madison, a bouncer to second, should be routine for Cruz, and he throws out Madison Edwards. We're going to go to extra innings. A leadoff Texas League single by Flint Whipkey, but the Colonel runner wilted at first base. No runs, 1 hit in the 9th for the Kernels. There were no Silverhawk errors. The Kernels leave 1 and have stranded 8. We go to the 10th inning. We've got a dandy ball game for you here. A scoreless duel between the Kernels and the South Bend Silverhawks. Let's see if Chris Howell remains on the mound. Chris Howell will remain on the hill for the Kernels. As we go to the top of the 10th inning, Kernels nothing, Silverhawks nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Jumpstart your future with learning from Kirkwood Community College. No matter what your age or previous work experience, you have new opportunities as close as your phone. 398-5517. Kirkwood has hundreds of choices for career and technical programs. Kirkwood has financial aid and support options to help you succeed, and Kirkwood has locally based centers to help you balance work, family, and learning. Kirkwood is ready when you're ready. Call Kirkwood Admissions today, 398-5517. Kirkwood. Start here, go anywhere.
Convenience and trust, two things all of us want. At Tri-State Travel, we offer both. It's convenient for you to make one call or one visit to our office for all your travel needs. A one-day tour, a cruise, a trip to Branson, to charter a motor coach. For 66 years, Tri-State Travel has been a name you can trust to provide quality products. Come see why you can trust us to provide the convenience you expect. Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
We're underway in the 10th inning, and Chris Howell is even on the count, 1-1 to Brian Byrne. South Bend hasn't had a base runner since the 4th inning. And a change-up from Howell, a strike called. Chris is beginning his 3rd inning out of the Colonel bullpen in relief of starter Tommy Mendoza. Byrne 0 for 2, walked his first time up, and a pitch in the dirt. Ball 2 to Brian Byrne, the cleanup batter. The Colonel record in extra innings this season, 1 win, 2 losses. Tim DeJurgis has started to warm up down the right field line for the Kernels. Here's a line drive, a sinking liner into center for a base hit. That's the first hit and base runner for South Bend since a leadoff single in the 4th by Justin Upton. Brian Byrne didn't hit it as hard as I thought he did. In fact, he hit it off the trademark and dumped it into center for a leadoff single. Well, let's see if Mark Haley follows the script of trying to bunt, or follows the book by trying to bunt the go-ahead run to second, or whether Orlando Mercado will swing away. We'll have a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard for you when the Colonels bat in the bottom of the 10th. Chris Howell, a throw to first, almost sailed over the head of Mark Trumbo. Back safely is Byrne. Brian Byrne has 1 steal in 1 attempt this season. Modest size lead at first. A throw over there, and this one gets by Trumbo, or no, he got it. The first base coach, Todd Dunwoody, a former Midwest League All-Star, took his hat off. He thought that pickoff throw was going to hit him. Mark Trumbo saved the day again with a high reaching stab of a high pickoff throw from Chris Howell. Now Chris steps off the rubber. State Farm Major League Scoreboard brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, Brad Dunn, and Al Shetler. Ball 1 low as Mercado squared to bunt. We'll give you finals from this afternoon and then check what's going on tonight. This afternoon in the American League, Cleveland stomped the White Sox 7-1 at Jacobs Field. And the Angels are taking their lumps right now. Our parent club, sent to their 5th straight defeat, is Oakland, clobbered the Angels in Anaheim today, 10-3. Mercado bunts foul, a poor bunt attempt, high up into the screen, strike 1. In the National League this afternoon, the Reds up their record to 19-8 as they edge the Cardinals at Great America Ballpark 3-2. The Pirates trounced the Cubs at Wrigley 8-0. And San Diego knocked off the Giants 5-3 at SBC Park. A throw to first and a leisurely toss by Chris Howell. Brian Byrne returns safely. We're scoreless in the top of the 10th inning. Boy, you'd never know the Silverhawks have a 9-16 record. They have competed hard here tonight, as have the Kernels. Howell steps off the rubber with Dallas Morris tiptoeing almost halfway into the plate from third, looking right into the cannon's mouth. Orlando Mercado squaring to bunt. A pitch out, and the runner holds at first base. The Kernels pitched out, and now the count 2-1 on Orlando Mercado. Tim DeJurgis warming up in the Kernel right field bullpen. Will Mercado be swinging here? No, he bunts up the first baseline. Trumbo has it, tags out the batter. A successful sacrifice by Orlando Mercado. It went 3 unassisted, and a vast difference in execution in this game. The Kernels got a leadoff single from Flint Whipke in the bottom of the ninth, but were unable to successfully sacrifice Flint to second. Now the Silverhawks have the go-ahead run at second with 1 away here in the top of the 10th inning. No score. Manuel Fair, F-E-R-R-E-R, is pinch running at second for South Bend. Manuel Fair carrying the go-ahead run in this game. Pinch running for Brian Byrne. And we have a pinch hitter, Thompson. Greg Thompson is pinch hitting for Frank Carreri. Carreri was 0 for 3. He's a left-handed batter. So is Greg Thompson. Greg Thompson is pinch hitting for South Bend here in the top of the 10th inning as Mark Haley goes to his bench to try to get the only run of this game home. And he's done it. A homer it is. A 2-run homer for pinch hitter Greg Thompson. And South Bend leads it 2-0 here in the top of the 10th inning. Greg Thompson sprints around the bases. He lit into the first pitch from Chris Howell and belted it over the right field wall. A 2-run home run puts South Bend ahead 2-0 here in the 10th inning. Whoa, they say as a pinch hitter, come off the bench swinging, and Greg Thompson, a pinch hit 2-run homer. Makes it 2-0. It's Thompson's first home run of the year. Here's a high drive way back in right center. At the wall, it may go. Home run for Trey Hendricks. 3-0 Silverhawks. Trey Hendricks with the home run. And the Kernel bubble is burst here in the top of the 10th inning. A 2-run homer by pinch hitter Greg Thompson. The second of the year by Harvard's Trey Hendricks. And it's 3-0. Here comes Bobby Magallanes. And we have a trend developing with Chris Howell, and it's not a bad trend. Chris is super in innings 1 and 2 out of the bullpen, and he seems to run out of gas in the third inning. And perhaps a too late of a move by the Kernels here. Boy, Chris Howell pitched his heart out, but just ran out of steam, and the Kernels lift Chris Howell. A U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Well, Chris Howell gives up a 2-run homer to pinch hitter Greg Thompson, and then a solo blast over the 390-foot mark underneath the scoreboard. And Tim DeJurgis comes on to try to keep this a 3-0 lead for the Timber Rattlers. Or for the Silverhawks, excuse me. I'm thinking ahead to the series opener against Wisconsin on Thursday night. Well, Chris Howell sure pitched well. He just, we probably need to keep in mind that he's most effective when he pitches 2 innings rather than 3. Chris pitched his heart out here tonight, 2 1/3 innings, and he surrenders 3 runs on 3 hits, all 3 of them here in the 10th inning. A single, a 2-run homer, a pinch hit 2-run homer, and a solo home run. Chris Howell struck out 3 Silverhawks, and Chris walked none. Tim DeJurgis is on. Tim hasn't been scored upon in his last 2 appearances encompassing 6 innings. So the Silverhawks have broken through in a big way with 3 runs here in the top of the 10th inning, and they now lead the game 3-0.
3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 35 pitches.
Tim DeJurgis, even though the Colonel's spirits are low right now. His job is to keep it 3-0. You never know what might happen in the bottom of the 10th inning. Tim DeJurgis, no record this year, on for the 8th time, a 0.57 ERA. Tim in 15 2/3 has surrendered only 11 hits, struck out 20 batters in 15 2/3, walked 5. And again, I have nothing but the utmost respect and admiration for what Chris Howell did. He's just not ready yet to go 3 innings out of the Colonel bullpen. He may be later, probably will be, but he pitched dynamite here tonight, just like he did in Lansing for 2 innings, and then just kind of ran out of steam or had his setbacks in the 3rd inning of his relief stint. DeJurgis has fallen behind 2-0 to Steve Mena. So a couple of long balls have given South Bend a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 10th inning. Swing and a miss by Mena on a split-fingered fastball. Ralph Palmer was up here earlier with the visit by Mason Taylor from Garfield, and Ralph said, John, if we can score 3 runs a ball game, we're going to have a very, very good ball club. Well, tonight we haven't scored 3 runs, and we're down here in the 10th, 3-0. Down but not out. Kernels have still out-hit the Silverhawks 6-5. South Bend came in last in the league in home runs. They now have hit 9, the same total the Kernels have. Strike 2 to Mena. Now ball 3, low and outside. 3-0 Silverhawks. And we're in the top of the 10th inning. Here's the payoff pitch. Wrapped hard to shallow left, backhanded by Stacia. Hindley throws. Ooh, out! What a play. The play of the year for shortstop Hindley Stacia. A hard hit smash by Steve Mena. Headed into shallow left field. Stacia backhanded it and then threw out Steve Mena. I honestly thought he beat the throw by a step, but the base umpire said out, and that was an outstanding big league play at shortstop by Hindley Stacia. Whoa, what a play by Stacia to take a hit away from Steve Mena. Now ball 1 low to Ricardo Cruz. Right-handed hitter who's 0 for 3 tonight. A pop foul over the backstop, strike 1. Well, John Campbell from TV9 has his highlights, but not the highlights he was hoping for so far. A 2-run homer by pinch hitter Greg Thompson, followed by a Trey Hendricks blast. Here in the 10th inning, 3-0 Silverhawks. A slow roller to short. Hindley Stacia charges, pegs on to first, and gets Ricardo Cruz to end the inning. In the 10th, 3 runs for South Bend on 3 hits. There were no Colonel errors, and the Silverhawks leave the bases empty. In 10 innings, South Bend has only left 3 men on. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Silverhawks 3, Kernels 0. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin. You know, Hometown Restyling has served Eastern Ireland since 1986, providing the very finest in windows, siding, and sunrooms. Their experienced staff can handle the job from start to finish, including plans, permits, and inspections. Plus, Hometown Restyling is nationally recognized by Professional Remodeler, Qualified Remodeler, and Remodeling magazines. Call Hometown Restyling for your next remodeling project, or better yet, visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hiawatha or Coralville. Hometown Restyling, because there's no place like home.
Solid Waste and Recycling Services' most valuable player is that big, sturdy cart you use to put your yard and organic debris into. Yardie. Yardie's a real workhorse when it comes to gobbling up your lawn and garden debris. You can expand this capacity by mulching your leaves and other yard debris with your lawnmower, leaf vacuum, or leaf blower. Yardie's okay swallowing up brush and branches, but he'd prefer that you bundle and tie them together and place them beside him. Remember, your Yardie can do more for you if you give him those 2 special treatments, mulching and bundling.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
Bottom of the 10th inning, and a new pitcher, Vincent Bongiovanni. Vincent Bongiovanni will pitch the bottom of the 10th inning. Bongiovanni has one save this year. He's 1-0 with a 0.73 ERA. Vincent Bongiovanni. 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 And he'll face Larry Infante. Ball one outside. 3-0, bottom of the 10th inning. South Bend ahead.
Two innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout.
Brian Doherty is the pitcher of record for South Bend. Ball too low to Larry Infante. He may take. He does. Upstairs. Ball 3. Ball 3, and the Kernels would like to mount at least a threat, if not rally and pull this one out of the fire in the 10th inning, trailing 3-0. Ball 4. Bongiovanni does the exact thing he didn't want to do. He walks the number 9 hitter, 140 batter, Larry Infante. Heinle Stacia has 2 of the Colonel's 6 hits tonight. We're approaching the top of the hour. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on 1450 AM KCRG. Excuse me. 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. This is the Colonel Radio Network, and tonight we're on 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. I hope I didn't just give Rick Sellers and John Phelan heart failure there. Guys, I'm sorry. I got our sister stations crisscrossed. Friday at noon we'll be on In the Zone, but we're on KMRY this evening. A 1-0 pitch to Stacia is a strike called from Bongiovanni. Sounds like an artist's name, doesn't it? A 1-1 to Heinle. Wrap to first. Mena throws to second, out. Ciriaco to first. Double play. Steve Mena taking over at first, moving from third to first with Fair, the pinch runner, at third, and that takes the wind out of the Colonel's sails. A 3-6-3 double play. Heinle Stacia hit it hard right at Steve Mena, the first baseman, who takes over. Brian Byrne was pinch run for, and now the bases are empty. Base is empty. 2 gone here in the 10th inning. And ball 1 outside to Dallas Morris. The pitchers of record, Ryan Doherty for South Bend and Chris Howell for the Kernels. A bouncer to short, and it takes a bad hop down to get it. Ciriaco on to first, and the Silverhawks have won this one 3-0. South Bend avoids a series sweep as they score 3 in the top of the 10th and blank the Kernels 3-0. The Kernels in the 10th inning, no runs, no hits, a walk. There were no Silverhawk errors. The Kernels leave the bases empty and stranded 8. South Bend, a 3-0 winner here tonight. We'll have the totals, highlights, and more coming up in just a moment on the Colonel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe. From me to you, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, would you like to be a pepper?
Pepper, it's a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this. Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more. You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
For the Kernels Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonel, John Rogers.
And South Bend gains a victory tonight and prevents the Kernels from sweeping 3-0 Silverhawks. Very, very fine pitching by both starters this evening. In fact, Tommy Mendoza was virtually untouchable. Tommy went 7 innings and allowed no runs on 2 hits, struck out 8 and walked 1, but his mates couldn't take advantage of the few scoring opportunities they had against Silverhawk starter Eddie Baeza. Baeza hurled 7 innings, allowed no runs on 5 hits, struck out 5, walked 1. Here on the Colonel Curtain Call, we can tell you that the best Colonel scoring chance came in the second inning. Renz led off with a single. Flint Whipkey then got his 7th hit of the series with an infield single to the right side. Mark Trumbo was called upon to try to bunt the runners from first and second to second and third, but couldn't do it, struck out. The Colonels put 2 men on with 2 out in the third inning, but Jordan Renz flew out to right, and then there were very few scoring chances for the Colonels. The 7th inning saw the Colonels get Mark Trumbo aboard with a leadoff single, a Texas League single, but after Larry Infante walked with 2 outs, Heinle Stacia was retired on a foul pop down the left field line that Pedro Ciriaco made a circus catch on. So the Colonels couldn't get it done against Eddie Baeza. Meanwhile, Tommy Mendoza allowed an infield single and a walk in the first inning, a leadoff single to Justin Upton in the 4th inning, and then Mendoza set down the next 12 Silverhawks he faced. He retired the final 3 men in the 4th inning and then set the Silverhawks down in order in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. In came Chris Howell. He retired the side in order in the 8th, pitched around an error in the 9th, and we went to the bottom of the 9th, tied scoreless still. Flint Whipkey led off with a Texas League single over the first baseman's head, but once again, Mark Trumbo called upon to try to lay down a bunt, was unable to do it, put the ball in play, but popped out to 7'1" Brian Doherty, and the Colonel leadoff single in the 9th inning was squandered. In the 10th inning, Chris Howell surrendered a leadoff hit to Brian Byrne. That was the first hit and first Silverhawk base runner since the Justin Upton leadoff single in the 4th. 18 straight Silverhawks went down in order before Byrne's leadoff single in the 10th. A pinch runner, Fair, came on for Brian Byrne. Fair was sacrificed successfully by Orlando Mercado to second base. Then off the bench came Greg Thompson, and first pitch swinging, he belted a home run over the right field wall to break the scoreless stalemate. Trey Hendricks from Harvard followed with a home run, and on came Vince Bongiovanni in the 10th inning with South Bend leading 3-0. and Giovanni walked Larry Infante to start the inning. I thought the Kernels might have something, but then Heinle Stacia wrapped into a first base, shortstop, first base double play. Dallas Morris then chopped out to short, and South Bend wins at 3-0. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Silverhawks. They only left 3 men aboard. The Kernels, no runs, 6 hits, 1 error. The Kernels stranded 8. Winning pitcher was Brian Doherty for the Silverhawks. He's 1-0. The Colonel loser, Chris Howell, 1-2, and Vince Bongiovanni records his second save. The game was played in a brisk 2 hours and 26 minutes before a crowd of 1,324. 3-0 Silverhawks in 10 innings. We'll be back in a moment with our PRC play of the game. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith? Giuseppe Florentino. You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared as Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Oh, come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's the Colonel Curtain call after South Bend wins their only game of the series, a 10-inning, 3-0 shutout of the Colonels. Time now to enjoy our PRC play of the game. PRC is a company with a great heart, and if you're looking for a career opportunity with a company with a great heart, you should learn more about PRC, the former Access Direct here in Cedar Rapids, at PRC's website. It's www.prcnet.com. Tommy Mendoza pitched his strongest game of the year, 7 innings of shutouts baseball. And our PRC play of the game comes in the top of the 7th inning. We were scoreless, and cleanup batter Brian Byrne was at the plate. Mendoza had run the count full to Brian Byrne in a scoreless game, mind you. Let's now listen in for our PRC play of the game.
Ball 3 high. Let's see if Tommy can throw a strike. He does, and a swing and a miss. Oh, Tommy Mendoza blew it by Brian Byrne. Strikeouts for the Colonel 18-year-old. And that is now 10 in a row set down by Tommy Mendoza.
And that's why we chose Tommy's 8th strikeout of the ball game and the 10th hitter in a row he would retire as our PRC play of the game. Tommy set down the last 12 South Bend hitters he faced. In fact, he and Chris Howell combined to make it 18 straight Silverhawk hitters in a row. But South Bend broke the game open with a 2-run pinch hit homer by Greg Thompson and a solo blast by Harvard's Trey Hendricks to win it in 10, 3-0. That's our PRC play of the game. PRC, the former Access Direct in Cedar Rapids, terms their benefit package Life Essentials. A job at PRC is a job you'll love because of the Life Essential benefit package that includes a flexible work schedule, paid training, casual dress code, medical, dental, vision, and pet insurance, and a 401k retirement savings plan. All of those included in the Life Essentials benefit package at PRC. To learn more about the opportunities to work at PRC, visit their website at www.prcnet.com. We'll be back in a moment with a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard here on the Colonel Curtain Call on the Colonel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall and listen to Mix 96.5. If you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and Mix 96.5.
It's unheard of. An industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Keel Honda on Center Point Road Northeast. Randy Keel Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid, with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Keel Honda in person on Center Point Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
The Colonel record now stands at 13 up and 13 down, and the Colonels take this series from South Bend 3-1, looking for a sweep, but lose it tonight in 10 innings, 3-0. I want to correct a mistake I made earlier. Thursday night's game against Wisconsin and Friday's noon game against the Timber Rattlers both will be heard right here on 1450 KMRY. Now, we have something I've never seen on a computer. I'm not real computer literate. It says cannot find server. So we're going to give you what we have on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Not sure what it means that the computer says it cannot find a server. That's a tennis term. Well, let's thank State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubat, Brad Dunn, Dale Thompson, and Al Shetler for bringing us this look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. We'll review what we have from this afternoon. In the National League, the Reds edged the Redbirds in Cincinnati 3-2 over the Cardinals, the Reds. At Wrigley Field, the Pirates mauled the Cubs 8-0. At SBC Park, the Padres turned back the Giants 5-3 today. In the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, the Indians stomped the White Sox at Jacobs Field 7-1. And our parent club, the Angels, have hit the skids a bit. They're in the midst of a 5-game tailspin as Oakland drubbed the Angels today, this afternoon, in Anaheim, 10-3. Now, with that foreign term on the computer, cannot find server, I'm going to do the best I can tonight. I know this. The Yankees and Red Sox were rained out at Fenway. At Comerica Park, Detroit was leading Kansas City 4-1. Baltimore ahead of Toronto 9-2 at Camden Yards. And before the server went down, I could not get a score. Texas and Tampa Bay, Seattle and Minnesota. Now wait a minute. We may have struck gold here. Andy Pantini has come in, and we may have a possibility of some more finals as Andy's tinkering with my computer, which is probably the problem. But we know that Philadelphia... Now, wait a minute. We now have a possibility, if I can get this down here and see it, of a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Andy's helping me with the slack. My eyes are not too awfully good, so I'm going to go to the scoreboard rather than the small, because I'm nearsighted. I can't read the scores that well. The server's back up, and I'll ask Andy what I did wrong, because I'm sure it was a problem at my end. Okay. All right. We have finals now, thanks to Andy. At Camden Yards, Baltimore whipped the Blue Jays 9-2. American League, they're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Texas holds a 6-5 lead over the Devil Rays in St. Petersburg. And up at the Metrodome, they're in the bottom of the 8th inning, Twins on top of the Mariners 4-1. Now, thanks to Andy getting us back in business, we have a final from Miami. The Phillies toppled the Marlins 7-5 tonight. On the State Farm Major League scoreboard at Shea Stadium, Washington is ahead of the Mets. Now, wait a minute. That's a final. The Nationals have won 6-2 over the Mets. In the bottom of the 8th inning at Turner Field, Atlanta leads the Rockies 5-4. And at Miller Park, the Astros hold a 7-3 advantage over the Brewers. That's in the top of the 7th. And the Dodgers in the bottom of the 2nd in Phoenix lead the Diamondbacks 5-0. Again, Boston and the Yankees were rained out at Fenway Park. Well, thanks to Andy Pantini with an assist from Dale Brote, we got all the scores for you on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, sponsored by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubath, Al Shetler, and Brad Dunn. A day off tomorrow. The Kernels are 3-1 on the homestand. Bow to South Bend 3-0 in 10 innings tonight. We'll open up our 4-game series with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers on Thursday. You can hear the game right here on 1450 KMRY, 610, the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Remember, Friday is special, a noon start. Thursday, a Buck a Cup Thursday, 12-ounce draft beer and 12-ounce sodas and slushies are only $1, and bottled water and bottled soda only $2 on Thursday evening. Kernels got great starting pitching from Tommy Mendoza, his best outing of the season, but the offense was waylaid by Silverhawk pitching, and South Bend leaves town with a 10-inning, 3-0 triumph. Enjoy the middle of the week. We'll greet you at 6:10 here from the ballpark for the opener of a 4-game set with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Kernels in 10 innings lose 3-0. John Rogers wishing you well from the ballpark on the Kernel Radio Network.